also such an effective way to volley. He's always on his backhand side. He doesn't have a forehand side. And Araya's usually so good at finding that slot.
Uh-oh.
Great volley there from Rams.
I'm surprised Araya didn't move that ball off of Ram's right side there.
Another missed backhand from Araya.
Game Wagner Rams. They lead the second set 3-2. Wagner Rams won the first set 7-5.
Winning all the big points right now. The question is, can they get another hold?
Parsons is checking his text messages.
Well, I was wondering if he was totaling up the number of Araya errors.
Did you just tell him to accelerate on his serve?
Well, Rams will serve 3-2. Second set as they look for a hold. There's Jackie Cameron, tour director. That was Jackie Cameron.
There she is again.
Always with a big smile on her face.
She took over a couple of years ago for our friend Shannon Vincent. Has done a great job for the APTA, carrying the torch forward, help coordinate all the live streaming and who's going where, what courts, what matches. Do they have balls? Do they have Gatorade? Every little detail covered by Jackie Cameron.
Okay, Rams to serve. 3-2, second set.
And if there's a detail that Jackie doesn't cover, Ann Waldron's all over it. She's double duty this weekend, tournament director and heading up the live streaming.
5 consecutive breaks. Start the second set, Patty. Another miss
15
from
love.
Araya. Just a lot of surprising misses. That's a ball you expect him to put in play. Good
15 all.
Backhand from Parsons. He has such good pace variation on that shot. There's another example of Wagner sliding to his right, taking away the right hip.
That's a lob from Araya right there.
30-15.
Got beat there in the transition, which he's normally so good at.
He is good at it, but Rams is damn close to being as good at it.
Well, I would say today he's better.
Like I said, he dominated in their first match with that play.
There, Araya Parsons switch in the backcourt.
What a get.
Recovery from Parsons.
Had his paddle down low, knew what goes up will eventually come down, and just popped it up.
Misses
40-15.
backhand there, and it's 2 game points for Rams Wagner to grab control of this set. A big rip there.
40-30.
Wagner was in good position, just missed the volley.
Yeah,
A lot of heat on it.
yeah, a lot of pace. But Mark, that's why these guys are the best in the game. They have that variety on the pace. They can speed up or slow it down. A lot of times, club level players, you only can see them add pace to a drive, where these guys know that you've got to throw everything in the kitchen sink to break down a really good net team.
Good scramble there by Parsons to get himself out of trouble.
Love the setup from Rams you're seeing all day long here. Gets his paddle back. Uses his legs. Ton of spin. There's the Araya spot.
Top players are so good at moving to take away that forehand volley. Pittsburgh paddle a little rejuvenated this year with Graham McNerney over there. Oh, great volley.
Oh my gosh, what
How
a
did
part.
Parsons not hit that
First
ball the
deuce.
first time?
That was pretty incredible.
If they come back to win this match, that might be the point that turns it.
Whoopsie.
John Lubout getting that ball, Patty?
Advantage, Uriah Parsons.
That's great at John. Scramble all the way from New Jersey to get that ball. Okay, point for 3-all. Wow.
Game, Uriah Parsons. Second set is tied 3-all.
Right there, looked like they were on the edge of the precipice, and they managed to break. And our break streak continues. Great read there from Mariah. Parsons hitting some big forehands right now.
15 love.
He has really been plagued by the faulting. Let's see if he can stay away from it this game. Then 40-15 last game he served. Misses the nick.
30 love.
Must be uncomfortable for Parsons to serve 30 love since it's a new situation.
You just feel a change in the air all of a sudden, Mark, don't you? Right here in this match.
Until it changes again.
Exactly, but it's changing again.
Let's see what happens the rest of this game.
Well, I was thinking about that volley miss from Wagner a point ago. You know, he didn't miss one volley this morning, but these guys are lobbing much better, and so he's often at a tiny bit.
Oh, just
Wow.
a crazy decision from Parsons there, Patty.
30-15.
Wow.
Mariah's yelling up, and Parsons misses
30
the drive
all.
by 3 feet.
But they know this is critical, and you can just feel Juan's intensity here.
Great transition there from Wagner.
Wow.
This pump from Mariah, and they'll have another game
40,
point
30.
on Parsons' serve.
Rams made that shot 219 straight times so far today. That was huge.
Mariah misses the volley.
First deuce.
Perfect position there.
That's a regift.
Yeah, this could change things again. Jerry Villa was talking about how Wagner wasn't square on those last couple of volleys that he missed. Parsons gets beat there in the corner, and it's
Advantage, Wagner Rams.
a break point again. Such a smart move by Wagner to bail off the net. Look at Rams. Unbelievable coverage at the net.
Game,
They break
Wagner
Parsons
Rams. They lead
yet
the second
again.
set 4-3.
And that's the thing
Wagner
with Rams.
Rams won the first set 7-5.
The thing with Rams, Mark, is he plays a risky game. He's all over, very much like Juan. We've seen that forever, and Rams is darn good at it.
Well, to be able to move that far and still have soft enough hands to make the volley. Really impressive. That missed volley from Mariah at game point on the forehand side. Those are the shots that determine who win and lose matches sometimes.
Yeah, and Rams played a ton of paddle with Scott Kaler, who's just one of the rock solid, great players in our game, and a cerebral kind of player. And Rams has totally benefited from
Love
being
15.
exposed to that, and that's how Pittsburgh. You add Graham McNerney to the mix, and we're going to get a wave of players out there who have the benefit of playing on a regular basis league matches against these guys.
Love
And
30.
that's what ups a city like Pittsburgh's level of play.
Wagner with a fast fault on that first ball. Didn't even look like he was ready. Quickly down love 30. They've really done a great job of preventing Araya from hurting him with all the spins. Boy, this is a fast game.
Love 40.
And this is really where you separate the men from the boys, Patty, as you get into the business end of the set. Winning a set against Araya Parsons is nice, but beating him is a whole nother story.
15-40.
See if Araya Parsons switch in the backcourt here.
And that's the difference in the game. Araya Parsons didn't come up to take
30-40.
the net. They were perfectly content. Just stay back. I don't think they'll be content with that miss, though.
No, there Rams reaches.
Game
catches the edge
Araya
of the paddle.
Parsons. Second set is tied 4-all.
It's interesting, Patty. There's little mistakes there. You could kind of feel the noose tightening on Araya Parsons, and Rams makes a little bit of a mental mistake, and we're back to 4-all. Araya to serve. He is yet to hold today.
Which is shocking because he's one of the guys in the history of our sport who has the highest percentage of holds on his serving game.
Yeah, tremendous serve. He's been unable to hold the net. He's somebody similar to Johan Durant, who comes in behind virtually every serve. Rams misses that one.
But again,
15
that's
love.
the constant pressure Rams puts on you. And if Wagner can keep that ball down, it's field day for Rams.
Boy, Wagner's backhand is almost Parsons-esque.
Compton-esque. I was thinking earlier, it reminded me of Brian Compton's. No similarity to yours, Mark.
None whatsoever. And you can see Araya has moved his backhand drive over a few boards
30
to
love.
find the middle of the court. No longer looking for Wagner at the net, but trying to find that Rams forehand. He's been much more effective with it the last 3 or 4 games. How far over Araya's pushing him.
But I think he would be well served to throw that ball all the way cross court. Really stretch Rams out a little bit, because then it opens up the middle a little bit for Juan's next shot.
Oh, Parsons lying like that.
He's,
Did you hear that
40
lie,
love.
Patty Hogan?
he lied before it bounced.
40 love, a chance for Araya's first hold of the match.
Huge swing here in momentum. It's only temporary, I know that, Mark.
So Patty Hogan, was that the
40,
stupidest shot
15.
you've seen all day?
Possibly. It's
Yeah,
right
I
up
think-
there.
I think probably would be a better answer.
It's in my top 3.
And Araya holds serve. Stop the presses.
Game Araya Parsons. They lead the second set 5 games to 4.
So Araya Parsons
Wagner
had served
Rams won the
11
first set,
times, and
7
that was
games
their
to 5.
Second hold.
Mark, I have a question.
Hopefully somebody can answer it for you, Patty.
I
Hogan.
feel like you can answer this question. Mark Parsons.
Make it a very easy question, Patty. Hogan.
Does he ever drink water or Gatorade during a match?
2, please.
Apparently
He's
not.
always the first guy who switches sides. He just goes to the screen. He's got to, get the sweat off his palm and leave it on the screens. But I never see the guy drink water or
Got a new
Gatorade.
ball, fellas.
That was a really easy question to ask, Patty. I appreciate that. I like the softballs.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so Rams will serve with a new ball. First point of the game, serving at 4-5. They have yet to hold serve this set. Starting out in the Australian formation, Ram shows the new ball. Araya says, do you want to try one with it? And there Araya Parsons switch in the backcourt. That's great play at the net.
15 love.
Rams really opened up the court there. Great get from Parsons, but Wagner had the answer. Wagner hitting a bunch of overheads
Yeah, they've not switched for one of the few times today.
and won the
30
point.
love.
It shocked Juan.
That was the same roller that Araya missed a few games back. A little bit of a better angle.
Yeah, he was a few more boards over.
You see Ram sneaking a peek at Araya before he hits that ball.
Smart. You got to know where Araya is at all times.
I'm sure that's what his mother said when he was growing up, too.
She probably told him, go out and play.
That's-
Only come home for dinner.
If that. Great lob there from Araya. Oh, boy,
Wow.
that ball just jumped
30,
straight
15.
backwards. The first cut winner we've seen him hit the whole match, Patty Hogan. 30-15. Parsons loves taking that ball off the deck. Here it comes. Rams misses it just wide.
Got it wide.
Call confirmed by our chair umpire. 30 all. 2
30
points
all.
from the set. This is where I get worried about that sidearm serve, Patty Hogan. Just hard to do in the big moments.
Well, neither of us is named Philip.
40,
Rams.
30.
Rams. It's a little easier for him.
Boy, Araya had the shot he wanted there and just missed it. Point for 5 all.
Wow.
All 4 players kind of watching that ball, wondering if it was going to be good.
But Rams' biggest moment of the match just hit 2 balls that I think hit the line on the serve.
Araya Parsons not looking for the switch yet in this point. Oh, great read from Araya on the nick.
And what a spot.
deuce.
Just handcuff Rams on that volley.
First deuce. Good coverage by Parsons behind Araya. Parsons with such a smart shot, Patty. Hits a little
Advantage,
roller,
Uriah Parsons.
catches Rams off the net, and it's set point for Uriah Parsons. That's great volley from Rams.
Second deuce.
So set point again, Patty Hogan.
And you're serving it too.
Going to Uriah.
I'm not
a little
Uriah.
surprised by
Yep.
that.
I'm a little surprised too.
Great return from Uriah. Third
Great
paddle
overhead
slam.
from Uriah.
Game in second set, Uriah Parsons.
Game in
6-4.
second set. Uriah Parsons, they win 6-4. Wagner Rams won the first set.
So what do you think,
7-5.
Patty? What turned that match around? Well, that set around
Thanks,
at
brother.
least.
Well, you know, you see the Parsons backhand.
stogie?
And I think the amazing thing that he does when he's out here, Mark, is
Yeah.
when you say he can take pace off the ball, he does it off of a huge windup. So you see this big windup and you anticipate it's going to be a ball with pace and you're kind of getting yourself in position to volley that ball. Then he can just take speed off the ball at the last second and he can make really good volleyers, you know, get wrong-footed and just get a bad read. They don't get that early read to make a solid volley. So, I mean, that set was what a roller coaster for both teams. Up, down, back, forth. Nobody holding serve, and then all of a sudden, just in the moment of truth there, Uriah and Parsons came through it. We've seen them do 1 trillion times over the years.
Well, back to your original comment, Patty, which is really spot on. It's like a fastball pitcher throwing you the changeup with the same motion. You're on your heels, you're waiting for the express, and all of a sudden it's the local, and it's like, your weight's on your front foot, and you commit, and then the ball just kind of sails past you. And you saw Parsons hit that shot at a huge moment. Looks like they're getting started pretty quickly. Mark Parsons, I see him drinking some water over
Wait
there,
a
Patty
second.
Hogan.
There it was.
Maybe we get some instant replay on that sip of water later on. Okay, so a riotous serve.
Well, he had an alarm that went off that said, Mark, hydrate.
Third consecutive set, Uriah has started serving.
Not a lot of people can look at their watch in the middle of a match and focus, and we don't recommend it.
And Uriah comes out and sprays a ball early.
I think he was checking his heart rate because he's got to know how he's got to maintain that even level, Mark. Mark, do you believe Wagner and Rams have what it takes? Pull this match out?
Yeah, I do, Patty.
Yep.
I don't know that necessarily they are going to, but I've really been impressed by their play. A couple of misses late in that set kind of put them in trouble. But that's what's happened. when you play
15
that
all.
High level of high risk, high reward paddle. I think this is a huge game for Parsons. Hit that ball, a little dagger off the edge of his paddle. Oh, Rams with a couple of misses.
30-15.
30-15. You do feel like Rams Wagner need a good start to this set.
Yep, and that's a tough ball to miss early in this third set, kind of going for a finesse shot off a really high point of contact. That's tough. Because even if it went over, he might have eaten the next ball.
Yeah, they're just starting to miss a few more balls. than they did early.
40-15.
This game's been a complete donation from them. Oh, another great transition play from Rams. Uriah Parsons switch to the backcourt. that Rams forehand volley on that backside ball. Great work from Rams there.
40-30.
Araya catches the nick.
Game Araya Parsons, they lead the third set, 1 game to love.
And they're now on a bit of a roll.
They're on a big roll the last couple of games. Totally changed it up, eliminated the errors.
Down 4-3. Won the last 4 games. 1 love. And now all of a sudden the pressure's on Rams and Wagner to hold serve here.
I see our youngest national champion last year is here. That would be Floors and Martin's little baby girl is here.
Sophia.
Sophia is out there. Martin's on duty today, so that Floor Hanisch and Anna Zabori can see if they can continue their success from last year's national win over into the Witch tournament today.
Okay, so it's 1 love, third set. Rams to serve. Parsons has really struggled over there today.
15 love.
Right, and a lot of the time in the second set, Araya handled that corner. So I'll be curious how they go with their tactics in the
15-all.
third set here.
I think they're going to be doing a lot of switching again like they were. Araya swung and missed to that ball. by like
30-15.
3 feet. Parsons just uncoils on that
30-all.
huge backhand there. Finds Rams' right hip. 30-all.
Yeah, I don't think they can afford to leave that ball up high on Parsons off that back screen only. That's deadly with him.
Switching into backcourt. Raya's looking for that right hip of Rams again. A forehand volley from Wagner. I think that's the first one we've seen today. Oh, what a shot from Araya.
But Araya set that up
40.
with the prior lob that extended Rams way cross court to his left and just was waiting for that. He knew he had that spot.
Created that spot.
Good hands
Parsons
from
with a
Wagner.
Great exchange.
Yeah.
One of the few he's won today.
Game Araya Parsons, they lead the third set, 2 games to love.
They are rolling now, Patty Hogan.
There's a lot of emotion out of Mark Parsons right now. So right now,
Oh, what a volley from Araya. Anybody else, you'd say that was
15
foolhardy.
love.
In Araya's case, it was probably foolhardy. But he makes
Wagner,
the shot.
Yep, Wagner and Rams have to totally chill right now. They got to slow this thing down.
You think
Mark
Parsons
just
is
said to
showing-
Juan, my heart rate's a
rate's
little
too high?
high. Will you run for the next ball for me?
Might have been a phone call. All of a sudden, all the shots that
30
Rams
love.
Wagner have been making, they're now missing. It's an amazing game, Patty, isn't it? That what looks so simple 1 second, the same shot can be so hard a few minutes later.
30-15.
Big
Great
forehand.
return from Rams right there, Mark.
Big forehand.
Yes, a lot of tides, changing tides forever in a paddle match. I like the pressure from Rams. I like the pressure. Wagner right there leaned into that return to serve. That's what they need to do here.
Switch in the backcourt. how far over Araya's pushing him. Here it comes.
Yeah. Araya's level is just soaring out here right now.
30 all.
This is that one. 30 all. See if they can handle the Rams' return here, how they play it. I formation again. Ryan misses another one.
Yeah, but that was a spot. He had the shot.
30-40.
Failed to execute. 30-40. Big point right here for Rams Wagner to get back in this thing. I don't know if they can afford to fall down. Two holds. Close from Rams there. Compton McNerney beat Broderick Christian 2-2. That's a fun team. Looking forward to seeing those guys play in the semis. I think that's the Burrisher-Doya side of the draw.
Actually, Burris-Ordoya would come out.
The Burrisher-Doya play Hughes Power, play the other side of the draw. Oh, what a get from Parsons. Parsons looked like he was stopping to get some water there, potentially. Here it comes again.
Rams is working hard, Mark. He's playing a million shots out here.
Ryan's very patient from the backcourt. Usually not a word you associate with his game. Great slide from Wagner there. Oh, great dig from Parsons.
First deuce.
Back to our first deuce.
Mark, great hands in the
First deuce.
broadcast booth here. Thank you.
Patty Hogan's phone sliding off the edge of the table. Had to dive for it.
You anticipated that. Nice.
Deuce number one. Boy, Rams has just been brilliant in transition. So often you see Parsons driving the ball and Araya standing up there and picking off the next volley, but he has completely negated that. See Araya pushing him around, moving, changing sides. And misses the backhand there. Boy, that backhand is usually
Advantage
so
Wagner
reliable.
Rams.
Missed more today than you've seen him miss in 10 matches. See that deceleration there from Parsons?
Game, Wagner
And they break
Rams.
again.
Araya Parsons lead the third set 2-1.
That was a huge game for Rams Wagner, down 30 love.
Yeah,
Had the answers.
they had nothing right then going for a couple of games. A couple little errors. As we know, the tide turns fast.
Nothing turns faster than momentum in a platform match. Change sides the wrong way and all of a sudden momentum changes.
Another great shot, Stanwich Club in Greenwich, Connecticut. Mark, have you picked out your Halloween costume yet?
Not quite yet. I've narrowed it down to 6 or 7 different things.
You have a lot of options. I like your outfit today, Mark. Nobody can really see it but me, but
Orange?
you're orange, you're black, you've got the pumpkin thing.
It's cold out there, Patty.
We got the memo to wear orange and black. We listen.
I was thinking I should have worn a heavier jacket.
Well, we're right inside that beautiful paddle hut here at Stanwich. I'm liking the temperature, Mark. And thank God, no showers yet. Hopefully it's just going to pass through. Great day with a cloud cover. No player would ever complain.
No, it's perfect weather. Araya reaches. Wagner beats him with the backhand.
15 love.
Wagner held serve at 6-5 in the first set. It's interesting, the teams are kind of mirror images of each
15
other,
all.
aren't they, Patty Hogan? With Wagner staying in the backcourt, driving the ball, letting Rams hit all the overheads and closing behind, like Araya Parsons are.
Yep, really similar.
Interesting how many teams are playing this way. Jeff Morneau, another one, played this style. Rams misses the backhand.
15-30.
And you just,
15-30.
I mean, dual fist pump, synchronized fist pump
They
from
work on
Parsons
that.
Araya.
They work on that. A great volley there from Rams. Beats Orion. Transition again.
30 all.
Really good deep volley from Rams right there. And that's the thing. Juan plays high risk. He's going to make his move, and you pay the price at times.
Oh,
Wow.
great read from Wagner. That was very similar to what Max LePavere likes to do. Blitz on the waterfall overhead.
It's a brave move.
One of the few things Max does well. Raya struggling on that last ball. See the tension in his face.
Wow.
Catches the seam.
40-30.
All. Big return from Parsons. That's a great lob off the Parsons drive. Forced him to go a long way to hit the overhead and open the court up. 2 overheads in a row from Wagner.
I like it. I like that he went in Parsons' corner.
Catches the nick, and it's back to 2 all. Great job.
Team
from
Wagner Rams. Third set is tied 2 all.
Like all the momentum belonged to Araya Parsons, and they said, not so fast. So after no holds in 9 games, we have 2 in the first 4 here. Araya misses again.
Love 15.
Juan had a lot of choices there.
And he chose poorly.
He chose green.
That's a different serve that he's hit. That soft serve down the middle to Wagner doesn't come too far off the wires. Prevents him from driving it. Yeah, it's a ball Wagner reaches for.
15 all.
That decision there.
Yeah, tough ball to handle unless you're a little bit of a taller player over in that corner.
Something you don't know a lot about.
I know nothing about it. I've seen a lot of things, though, Mark.
Great transition play from Rams again. He's really impressive, Patty.
Yep, and with all these players, you know, here's another guy. He's got every shot. And then it's just figuring out the combination, what lets you allow to execute at a high level over the course of a 3-hour match.
Oh, what a get by both of them.
Smart shot by Wagner just to throw the ball up. Lets his team buy time to retreat.
How did he get his paddle on it? Oh!
Incredible.
Oh my God. What a get from Wagner.
I like it. Wagner's feeling a little bit right now, Mark. I feel like he's getting a little bit more aggressive.
Oh, if that went over the net? Wagner's had like 3 circus shots at this point.
Wow!
What a point. Parsons is exhausted.
30-15.
Araya pulled a team. Tim Tebow right there.
I want to see Parsons' heartbeat now.
Mm.
I'm tired watching that point. Tremendous action. Yeah, Raya seems to have found the serve to Wagner.
2-all third set quarterfinals out of the beautiful Stanwich Club in Greenwich, Connecticut. I'm Mark Fischel alongside Patty Hogan.
And I'm
Did you
Patty
catch that?
Hogan alongside Mark Fischel.
I just wanted to see if you were listening.
I
And
always
can't
listen
say
when you
enough
talk.
about this club, the hospitality. I haven't been here in years. This is a beautiful, remarkable setting for a platform tournament. Hope we come back
30-all.
soon.
Great forehand there from Wagner.
Perfect. Did you see that, Mark?
Patty Hogan
Nothing
looking
gets
good
past
today.
John Scott. I thought I could pull it over Mark and no one else.
Another great get from Parsons.
You know, this was kind of a ho-hum second set. Tons of errors. The level of play, all 4 players, going way up here, Mark.
Randy Lofgren just texted me, head of the tournaments committee, and said he thought Parsons put his hand on the net to steady himself. That long, crazy point, which of course would be immediate loss of point. I
Wow.
did not see that.
We might have to look at that later. File a grievance against them. I don't think it's going to happen.
Seems unlikely.
But I just love how the level has improved so much here.
Ryan managed to get a ball past Rams there. That was impressive. We haven't seen too much of that.
Yeah. But like I said, I'm liking what I feel out of Wagner over here. Wow.
40-30.
Point for 3-2. Great action. There Raya went with a harder serve. Oh, what an exchange from Parsons and a dig.
Wow. And that's the thing. I mean, what a great shot from Parsons just to keep that point going.
Curtis Andrekova over Shea Sutter. 2-6, 6-2, 6-3. Good to have Jade Curtis back. One of the bright young stars of the game.
Martina Andreeva, former national champ. I expected big things from
First
them as a team.
deuce.
Parsons airmails the backhand, and that's first deuce. exchange. Boy, Rams has just got such great hands. But a little too aggressive there.
Advantage
Pays for
Uriah
that one.
Parsons.
Could we really have 3 holds in 5 games, Patty Hogan? Is that a violation of some rule? Great play from Uriah there.
Game Uriah Parsons. They lead the third set 3 games to 2.
Great play from Uriah Parsons. Level has really risen. This tremendous action. Starting to have some holds of serve. Don't make me dive for your phone again, Patty Hogan.
I'm all set now.
1 dive a match is all I got.
Thanks. And this is the amazing thing about this sport, how just the ebbs and flows, and you just have to weather them as a player. When it's not going your way, you just have to be confident that the tide will turn for you at some point, and you can just see that here. And I love how everybody's level is going up. Like they're all bringing each other's level up now. And they've got to. Now we're down to the third set for, a position in the semifinals this afternoon.
Okay, for Rams to serve, 2-3, third set.
I see longtime APTA umpire Mark Bliss out there helping Martin with his wrapping the baby warmly in a blanket courtside.
It's Mark Bliss, Kerry Delmonico's favorite umpire.
Oh, Mark.
Uriah Parsons
You
switched to the
couldn't
back
resist.
Interesting. Rams. Yeah.
I mean, he's hit 1 million overheads, and
That was the first time we saw them
15
switch.
low.
right, but
Intentional.
I felt like 2 games ago Wagner started feeling it a little bit, and I like that he can take charge as well.
His overhead's much flatter. I wonder if that's a function of Rams getting tired or just a strategic move.
Well, he's in his 4th hour of playing. He's hit 1 trillion overheads. Not that everyone doesn't do that in the sport.
I don't do that.
But I like Wagner lets the ball drop a little lower. It's a different look. And I think, Parsons and Uriah's level play went up. And I love a change of tactic. Maybe see if you can get him to flatten out again. Literally flatten out. Rams brings it with the pace and from his height and the spins. It's much more active.
And now they switch back to have Rams and the backhand hitting the overheads again. Oh, Ryan misses that one. 30 love.
30 love.
Rams just standing in there volleying everything. I wasn't really ready for that ball and just hopped right over to him. Found the Wagner forehand volley.
30-15.
Rare time. 30-15.
Yeah, but Parsons just spotted that drive. He knew what Wagner was looking to hit. Didn't give it to him.
30 all.
30 all.
Serve is wide, confirmed by the chair umpire. Now things are getting a little hairy. Look at Wagner close the net, present only his backhand volley. Just a really smart play. Wow.
30-40.
Love Wagner's retreating, but not to no avail. Point for 4-2.
Yeah. Rams had a lot of movement on that crushing drive from Parsons.
First
Way
deuce.
too much shoulder turn. When we talk about quiet hands, quiet body, and using your legs, that's what it's going to take to come through here.
Surprising miss from Parsons there.
Wow.
Boy, Rams volleys on the move as well as anybody.
Advantage
in the game.
Wagner Rams.
Another missed backhand from Parsons. Wow, 3 fast
Game,
misses
Wagner-
from Mariah Parsons.
Wagner
Game
Rams.
point.
Yeah.
Third set is tied 3 all.
Gigantic hold right
A new ball
there.
for you guys.
Just when you expect Mariah Parsons to kind of steady things down, they make a couple of mistakes. Yeah, that's just too much
Love
pace
15.
to volley that ball from that distance. I mean, Wagner hit a high forehand shoulder height from just behind the service line.
Great shot far side. That's Juan Araya hitting the overhead. And Mark Parsons in the light blue shirt.
Boy, that was some pickup from Rams on that spike overhead Araya hit.
Yep. And here's Pittsburgh's very own. We got Mike Wagner
15
and
all.
Philip Rams. Good shot of Mike Wagner right here.
We've had virtually no emotion from Rams Wagner, have we?
That's what's incredibly impressive about them, to tell you the truth.
What a volley from Rams.
Yeah, they've just stayed even keeled here.
Yeah,
Wow.
there Araya found the forehand volley and got
30,
Wagner off
15.
balance a little bit.
Might have played an out ball there.
He's so close to the net, though. It's hard to let those go. Great exchange from Parsons, backhand to backhand. Tough ball. Wagner read it. Just stayed on the wires.
40-15.
And all of a sudden, it's tough to break serve. Nope, misses the forehand wide, and it's
Game
4-3
Araya Parsons. They lead the third set 4-3.
Mark, are you ready for women's play this afternoon? It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
You know, questions around Fleur Hanisch, I have no questions. She's a
No
champion.
questions.
She had a little baby. She's got it all figured out. She's got incredible fitness level, which is the number one thing. All these players have to have the fitness. And, you know, they, I think, had a fairly easy go this morning. So I think she'll be in great shape for this afternoon's semi and final if they make it through.
I'm looking forward to Delmonico Gebbia versus Curtis Andrekova.
That's going to be a match.
15 love.
Jade Curtis was one of my favorite players to watch. Fast miss from Mariah there.
Jay was in Florida and she's back, and I think most people that Martina Andreeva team up with, have a lot of success. She's a rock solid, one of the top players in our women's game, so I think it's going to be really exciting. And Delmonico Gebbia, just really strong season last year, went out in the semis at Nationals, and, that's been driving them. I'm sure Carrie has not thought about anything else since then.
Well, maybe a couple other things.
A couple other things, but we know she's one of the more cerebral players in the women's game and thinks about it a lot, studies the videotape, sees what she could improve on.
15 all.
Rams with a rare volley error there. Takes us to 15 all. Wagner switched to get themselves back on their customary sides.
Oh, I was thinking parking lot the moment I saw that ball go down.
And you were thinking
30-15.
Wow.
30-15.
30-15 is correct.
Yeah, it's 30-15. All right.
Yeah.
No
Rams a little confused. Apology. Araya Parsons are willing to play 15 all. Yeah, it's just a little bit, it's
30
such a
all.
fine line, Patty. I mean, Rams has been brilliant today.
Yeah, I think that's a shot that works on a Tuesday night around 9:30.
Not against Mark Parsons. That ball had a lot of pace to hit a drop shot on.
It's tough at 4-3, third set of a quarterfinal.
Big backhand from Parsons. And Patty, talk
30,
a little
40.
bit about how you play against an opponent like Mike Wagner, who's on top of the net all the time.
Well, if you can overpower him and make him miss, that's one thing. Most people on the planet can't do that. So you've got to think, it's got to be way more lobbing till you can get him a little bit off the net.
But it's also really hard to let the ball go when you play that close to the net.
Well, and right, we talked about maybe played an out ball there, and the closer you get in, more your paddle comes up, and that's where you have to be incredibly disciplined. And I always thought the benefit of being short, Mark, came right into there. When you're down low, you just don't play those high out balls.
Boy, it was a questionable
Game
shot
Araya
selection
Parsons. They
by
lead the third
Parsons there,
set
but
5 games to 3.
Wins the point, and
Yeah.
Araya will serve for a spot in the semifinals.
Little relief there for Parsons and Araya.
So it's 5-3 Araya Parsons. I think this is as much as I've ever seen Araya stay back behind his serve. Let that one
Love
go.
15.
So just to repeat, Araya serving 5-3, love 15.
That 4 is going to become a 5 any second now, Mark.
There's a big rips from Rams there. I don't know.
15 all.
Catches the nick.
15-30.
Parsons missed a bunch of balls on that side wire you normally expect him to make.
Wow, what a rip.
On the run. Parsons looking for that nick. Yeah, that was a little impatient from Wagner.
30 all.
Backhand's a great shot, but he had to go a long way to hit that one. 2 points from the match.
Yeah, he just kind of got sucked into that hyped up pace of play right there.
I'm surprised Raya hasn't gone behind Rams a little more.
Oh, he had it. He got
had it.
Wagner to
Played
bite on that high ball again.
30-40.
Just can't let that high ball go when you're that close to the net. Point to get back on serve. Great pickup from Rams. Again, you see Rams sneaking a peek before he hits the ball. Yeah, Araya should get out of the way when Parsons has got the backhand. Great slash winner there, and they're back on
Wagner
serve.
Rams. Araya Parsons lead the third set 5-4.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a mental mistake from Araya. Could have been blitzing behind that ball. What do you think, Patty Hogan? Break or hold?
Just doesn't seem right that this could end at 6-4. I'm going to hold.
I'll be surprised if it's a hold given the way the match is unfolded.
I'm just feeling it for Pittsburgh right now.
Having been born and bred there.
Totally. My roots go way back.
Way back. Okay. Rams to serve. 4-5. Third and final set. Parsons' forehand is just exploding off that back wire. There's no chance to do anything. Raya with a little off-pace
Love
backhand.
15.
Catches
Beautiful
Rams
little shot. Love that.
off the net. Boy, Parsons has missed some big
15
backhands
all.
in the last 20 minutes. Sun has come out. Beautiful day here at Stanwich Club.
Another great return of serve. Handcuff
15,
Phillip
30.
on that. Forehand volley there.
Yeah, just can't hit that forehand volley at that moment in time. 15-30. Ryan Parsons switching yet again in the backcourt. Let's see if Rams Wagner looked for the switch. Mariah reads it. Oh, breaks out the two-hander. And here's the slash.
Yeah.
Wow, that's the type of
Vintage.
brilliance
15-40.
not a lot of people are capable of. Double match point. 15-40. Big forehand from Mariah. And there
Wow.
it is, game, set, and match. Araya
Game,
Parsons,
set,
5-7,
match.
6-4,
Araya
6-4.
Parsons,
That's fun to watch,
5-7,
Patty. Third
6-4,
set was real good paddle.
6-4.
Really fun. Parsons and Araya, you just never bet against them. And we are looking forward to women's action coming up. I believe we have some semifinal
Virtually.
women's play slated approximately for 2 o'clock.
Okay, we're going to take a break now. We're coming back this afternoon. We'll get some banner on the screen to let you know when we're going to see the women's semifinals. And right here on the APTA channel, presented by eNet Live.
in the game by far. She'll just overcommit and sort of bait people into hitting to her forehand.
40-30.
You can see that, it's already starting. You see Delmonico whispering behind her paddle to Lauren Gebbia.
Yeah,
She'll tip off a spot she's going to hit to and what to look for.
See, and there we see the combination. You see how Delmonico started that whole thing off with a little
Deuce.
bunt dink. Very few women players have that. She has it better than anyone else. And that push, Curtis surprised her, pushed her off the net. Gebbia comes in, now we're at deuce.
Brett, exactly to that point, it's the deception thing. Delmonico's game is based on deception, and she can execute because she does have a compact swing. You don't see the big wind up on any shots, and that just lets her.
Add out.
I mean, she's an on-field coach. She's always been throughout her career. She looks where her opponents are, and she'll hit the open space 4 miles an hour all day long. She rarely gets baited into the big shot.
And on the flip side, when we see them at the net, Delmonico does a great job of actually baiting her opponent into drive, then closing in and hitting drop volleys.
Game. Delmonico, Gebbia lead the first set. 1-love.
Wow. Well, we saw all of that on display in the first game from Delmonico and Gebbia. You saw Gebbia's firepower. You saw Delmonico using the touch ball at the feet to get it, back to deuce, and then they close out the game. Patty, do you think like the easy Delmonico and Gebbia had a bye in the first round, then they cruised through their quarterfinal. Curtis Andrakova had a tough, quarterfinal match against Shea and Sutter, a very good team. Do you think that benefits one team or the other?
I just think Delmonico and Gebbia, they're number 2 seed. I go with them. I think Curtis and Andrakova have to play an exceptional match to take them out here. Gebbia and Delmonico have the confidence of knowing as a team in the moments of truth what to do, how to handle those situations.
I think that's a great point, Patty.
There's just comfort in knowing what your partner's going to do in
15-love.
situations.
That's what I'm talking about from Delmonico. She hits it hard, side screen, leaving the ball high for Andrakova, almost baiting her into the drive while she closes in. Andrakova takes it, hits it out, and if it were in,
15-all.
Delmonico was closing in to make the volley.
Yep, and the success for Andrakova with her forehand is if she can move in and, lean into that forehand.
15-30.
She's incredible. If she gets caught where her legs are out of the shot, that's a tough ball for her to power through and, make a high percentage.
Yeah, I think for Andrakova, she hits the ball amazingly off both wings. If you can get her hitting on the move and get her moving, that's the key. And on the flip side, if you can lob Delmonico well
15-40.
off the net, getting her moving up and back, you can find her feet. She has great hands, but you can find her feet and drive it down low at her.
And it was a great spot lob, and if you can pull Carrie off the net there and make her, like you said, Brad, you've got to create the spaces for yourself.
Jeez.
But that's where the discipline of Gebbia and
30-40.
Delmonico could come into it, because they'll settle in and then you'll hear Coach Carrie,
30-40.
me, you.
Yep.
Instantly she'll make those calls to kind of lessen the number of those confusing moments.
See, Delmonico smartly, she was getting burned on the return of serve, not able to get up fast enough, and staying back these next 2 points. And here's where it's going to be interesting. See, Curtis hit a ball through the middle last time that she thought was safe, and Gebbia just creamed it. They got to find that safe spot on the court. And I got to tell you, it's probably not anywhere near Gebbia's backhand or forehand.
Yeah, you've got to make Carrie Delmonico beat you from the baseline. I think the more hits Gebbia gets, the better she gets.
Curtis, little
Advantage,
uncommitted on that play.
Delmonico,
She went
Gebbia.
for a dink with blitz and then didn't commit to the blitz, started bailing out halfway through it.
If you're going to blitz, you got to go, right? We saw Juan just hold his position this morning several times where I thought he was crazy. But he
That's
forces his opponent into making
Game.
some errors.
Delmonico Gebbia.
So great start for them, up 2-0, and in both games they're down 15-40 or 40-15, and they come back to win it. And a lot of that is a testament to what you were talking about, their teamwork. Delmonico and Gebbia were getting burned, or Delmonico was getting burned trying to come in, so she stays back for 2 points, and they find a way to get it back to deuce and then take the game, 2-0.
Brad, does holding serve have a greater significance in the
Love 15.
top level of the women's game versus the men's? That's a tricky question.
It is a tricky question because every game you win has significance. But I think there's so many
Left
breaks
30.
on both sides of the court. I don't think it holds a lot of significance on either side. What is significant is how you deal with holding serve, using your ability to kind of poach or stay back, send your partner, tell them where to serve. That's the key in a large part. Nice shot there from
Love
Gebbia.
40.
She put a little inside-out spin. The ball hit the ground and moved away from Andrekova. All right.
Fifteen 40.
All right.
It's an early season miss, Brad. She'll clean that return up.
Well, she's up 2-love, and ooh, playing pretty well so far. We'll allow her that miss. Oh, Curtis pulling
Game.
the trigger, but
Delmonico Gebbia lead the first set, 3-love.
catches the top of the net there, and Delmonico Gebbia just steamrolling in the sense that they look cohesive, as you were saying before, Patty.
They're moving in tandem, and you could just see even on that miss, they moved to their right. They were ready. They've got the plan in place. You can never talk enough about good footwork and just that movement, that then it makes it look like volleying is easier and hitting overheads, more balance. But it's a function of that footwork ahead of time, making the move. Brad, your earlier
15
question,
love.
does it hurt Delmonico Gebbia that they really have cruised through and they're in the semis? No, because they're a veteran team.
That's a great answer. Good kind of distinction there. Oh, just out.
I thought it hit the back line.
So there we go. Overrule.
Correction. 30-love.
So that's going to be a point. The umpire, Margaret Green, saw from our vantage point, I thought it hit the back of the line as well. But the umpire will not be making the calls, but is there for the overrules. Will call foot faults and things of that nature.
And Margaret was good. She was decisive. She saw the ball good. So, so be it.
Good job. You can see Delmonico. I think she's going right for the crease. And she's going right for the nick there.
When Curtis played a lot,
That's
she
going right
played.
in.
She got to play with the great Vicky and Stoklasova, however you say it, Brad. But Jade played the deuce court with Martina. She's over here in the ad corner, so it'll be interesting to see how this plays out.
Oh, good deep lob, and
30-15.
Gebbia goes for a tough spot. When you're that deep in the court, there's no angle left to hit it onto the side screen. She went for it, catches the top of the tape.
I'm sensing Mick Erdor is ready to go. He's been ready to go for about 3 hours in his semifinals.
Got energy to spare. They've had a great run into their semifinals, cruising through their first 2 matches, looking real solid. Oh,
Beautiful
30
spot.
all.
That should have been a routine, but no talking, which is surprising from Carrie and Lauren.
very surprising. And Gebbia had made a move to get it, and then she just ducked down.
Yep, it was a good fake.
See, there's that perfect example of what Delmonico is going to bring to the table. She just bunts it low. And when she does that, she's not even looking for a winner. She's just looking for them to pop up the volley a little. And if they get a little too close to Gebbia, she's going to come in and just hammer it.
You see with Gebbia Delmonico, we're seeing them play with Gebbia right now in the ad court, where that shows a lot of confidence from Carrie to give up that corner and not force switching back. But that's really improved screenplay from Lauren Gebbia.
Ooh.
Ooh, she had it.
30-40.
Great look.
Oh, you got to take that ball. And she gave it to her. And I don't know that they're going to have a ton of success giving her that shot over and over. But they'll take the miss, and they got a break point here. They just got to start by getting their first game. And then you can breathe a little easier, as they say, in the match.
Game.
Great shot. She ran
Curtis
into
Underkova.
that big drive.
Yeah, she's got to stay quiet, backhand volley.
Yeah. I was surprised not to see Delmonico pull out the drop shot on that short volley before. So good break of serve there from Curtis Andrekova. Oh, wow, great lob.
Again, the lob over that player to the right at the, that's the spot for club level players. Think about spotting your lobs over that player to the right. It goes a long way.
Love
Great
15.
spot from Gebbia. She sort of fakes the drop, gets Andrekova to commit forward, and then she slides it behind her into the side screen on the deuce side.
Love 30.
Again, kind of ran out of the way to create a forehand volley there, routine backhand volley. And she's headed toward Delmonico in that ad court. She's got to keep heading up toward that center line.
Oh, lob out there from
15-30.
Delmonico.
Brad, when Curtis played out of the deuce court, didn't she jumped all over a ton of forehands and backhands?
Yeah.
Where it looks like when she's in the ad court, she's almost looking for her backhand, and she did, break down Delmonico's volley there on that game point. I'll just be curious, I think when players go from one side to the other, how different shots kind of reveal themselves.
You're absolutely right. And there's a comfort level there. I mean, Andrekova's pretty much played exclusively on the deuce side, that I've seen in all her partnerships.
Yes.
That's a good ball, pushing her and just keeping her back. Can anticipate it. Now, if they can get her to start moving, that's the key. Oh, they're going after Delmonico now, keeping it away from the power of Gebbia.
30 all.
And that'll then the hopes probably are that they're going to get Gebbia to overcommit a little, get a little antsy, try to take a ball in the middle.
I think it's called freezing her out on a beautiful fall day.
Yep. And we should mention the other semifinal. They're warming up over there. They got a little later start, and that is our number one seeds of Hanish and Zubori against Caravaggio and Morgan, team from Chicago, which is Spencer Caravaggio had a great season last year. I think she won the Lake Forest earlier tournament this year.
40-30.
Sandy Svetkovic. And should be a great matchup there, too. When they get started, we'll give you some scores.
Allison Morgan's partnered up successfully with lots of the Chicago women, and Spencer's stars on the rise. She's got tremendous amount of skill. Got to watch her a little bit last year at Nationals. I think she's ready to take it up to the next level.
And she has a good flow to her game, kind of a loose forehand. Let's
Game.
rip. All right, so
Curtis Underkova. Delmonico Gebbia lead the first set 3-2.
nice righting of the ship for Curtis and Drakova. I mean, as far as I see it right now, Patty, they've decided they want nothing to do of Gebbia's drives in the backcourt. And they're going to keep it out of that zone, and it's worked for them right now. First hole to serve.
And it's kind of the book on Gebbia Delmonico. There are no secrets. You know, Delmonico's got the deception, but the power that Gebbia brings to the table, you just can't let her take over a match. And they're doing a great job now of isolating her out of it. And, you know, it remains to be seen what they'll do with their lobbing against Gebbia and Delmonico when they're the net team. I'll be
Football.
curious.
Love 15.
With fault called there.
You know, if they just try to keep Lauren away from hitting the ball as much as possible.
Oh,
Left
great
30.
flip there. A lot of power also from Curtis. She's a beautiful ball striker.
You see how Curtis is kind of moving to the middle, playing more, like a little bit more backhand. I'd love to see her inch over a tiny bit, just pose a little bit more of a threat when Gebbia is hitting the deeper lob.
You wanted to inch over towards the side screen or
Yeah,
to
toward
the
the
middle?
side screen and
Towards the
just
side screen.
open up.
So
See how there's
Right.
a lot of room over there.
Right.
For Gebbia, and
she needs to pressure the ball. She's hitting it to the side screen by moving over a little more.
Yeah, because that's the shot that they need her to bring out here.
Love 40.
I like this point here, though, because what they did is kept her moving up and back off the net. She goes for a little more on that overhead, pushes it long. Oh, just a
Game.
couple of thunder
Curtis
drives.
Underkova.
And there you got actually Curtis saying, you know, I got some power of my own, because you got Gebbia at the net, and she didn't try to go around her once. She went at her hard both times. 3-all now.
So Mark Fischel stat, 4 of the 6 first games, break of serve.
15 love.
That's why I'm saying I don't know. I kind of feel like in women's it's a little more important to hold serve.
Do you feel there are more breaks overall? Or do you think it's about the same?
I was thinking fewer breaks.
Fewer breaks overall in the women's
Fewer
game
breaks
than the
overall.
men's game.
Except for the top echelon, I think, in women's play, where people can bring so much heat from really deep shots.
And that's
30
what
love.
they want. So they started working it away from Gebbia, ball after ball, to get their 3 games in a row. And then you got Gebbia and they swing it around. You don't mind if she's hitting the ball on the reach, because they draw the air there.
40 love.
Just don't lay it through the middle and expect her not to
Right.
pounce on it.
Drakova missed a forehand early, and that was the comment I made. When it's away from her and she's going to swing, you don't mind that from your
Game.
opponents. You can cover that next
Curtis
shot.
Underkova. Curtis Underkova lead the first set 4-3.
That's a great turnaround for Curtis Underkova. A lot of, 3 games to Delmonico and Gebbia, and then 4 in a row for Curtis and Drakova. And
Ladies.
what you have here is it almost looks like Delmonico and Gebbia didn't expect this to happen. Like, they don't have a plan B for when they're freezing out Gebbia right now. They're going to have to access that.
But you feel like they're a little frustrated right here. This is not surprising, the game plan from Martina and Jade.
Yes,
15
it
love.
Quick drive by the quick block lob there from Delmonico. Draws the air.
Fifteen all.
I like this. Curtis's footwork. She's bouncy over there. Total swing and momentum here.
Yeah, she's taking some really good spot drives. So she's taking the ball early and finding
15-30.
Delmonico again. And so it's not that Delmonico's missing, but they're moving her up, moving her back, moving her up, moving her back, creating some space.
That's what I want to see from Andreeva. She pulls out that two-hander. Jade rips some forehands. There's not a safe spot there.
There really isn't a safe spot in the backcourt against Curtis and Andreeva. They are both great hitters of the ball. And what a shot there.
15-40.
She sees Delmonico basically trap herself to the side screen, which means she's going to block anything to the side screen. She goes straight towards the back. Ball goes through and then comes right at Delmonico. Good recognition. Oh, let court.
30-40.
Nice shot.
And Curtis just was teaching herself right there, Brad. Let court or not, she knows she has to close in.
Close it
You
off.
see Gebbia winding up. There is no way she's thrown up a lob because she is Louise's daughter. As you remember, Louise never met a ball she couldn't drive.
Yep. Louise Cash played for so many years. Veteran of many battles on the courts. That's why.
Game.
She didn't move back
Curtis
behind that one.
Underkova.
She stopped early. Great job by Curtis Andreeva there. Just smart play.
Yeah, we talk about the footwork. Gebbia just stopped and reached, and then when you're stiff arm hitting that overhead and trying to finesse it at all, it just doesn't
Love
work.
15.
Great shot from Gebbia at a great time. I mean, that's 5 games in a row from
Phew.
Curtis Andreeva. Ooh,
Love 30.
good low return. And this is where it's great to be that veteran team that you were talking about before. You know, they've been here so many times. Delmonico and Gebbia down a little, lost a few games, lost some momentum. They know how to trust each other, continue to play. You can see in that corner there, Curtis called for help. And what that means is she thinks the ball might be going right at the crease. And she's going to go up the line and let her partner cover the middle. So good play there from Curtis.
I love that play from Curtis right there.
And she read that completely. She moved Delmonico to the middle.
15-30.
Saw the middle overhead coming and drives the ball out wide, gets her stretched.
And Brad, when you lob the ball to the middle over in the women's game, 90% of the shots comes up that middle there because there's not much area to make your shot on the sideline.
15-40.
So I love the play from Curtis there to read that, create that combination.
Sun's coming out a little. It's been cloudy all day. We got a little glare out there now. See some shadows developing on the court. And the temp's probably a good 15 degrees warmer than it was when we started this morning at 8:30, Patty. Oh, geez. Such a quick
30-40.
release on that forehand there. Awesome.
Yep, and Gebbia kind of stood there. She kind of had to make a move forward and try to a little shift.
Yeah, I think
Little
she needed to
forward.
be on the line and forward. And I think Delmonico needed to be in to her left some more.
Yeah, they got to close. It's just like we said, When you see Gebbia winding up, you have to close.
Game. Delmonico, Gebbia.
Great shot
Curtis
there from Gebbia.
Andrakova lead the
From
first
Delmonico.
set 5-4.
Radford in Greenwich, Connecticut. Just an amazing part of the paddle world here. How many clubs are within 15 miles of here?
Oh, how many clubs? I would say
How many
there's
courts,
probably-
actually? How many platform tennis courts?
Yeah, there's 25 clubs within 15 miles, and I can't even count the number, but I'm sure it's,
Could you argue
50
this
to
is
100.
the best golf course?
the golf course here at the Stanwich Club is
Oh, I've heard.
highly regarded amongst players, and a lot of places, a lot of great golf courses
Left
everywhere. That's
15.
the second foot fault call on Delmonico. She's going to ask her
On the line.
what she's doing.
You
So
hit
she
the white line, yep.
probably just standing on the line, a little bit more
Only
of
on
a
this
mental
side.
error,
Yep.
or she's moving her front foot. But I'd want to know if I'm moving my foot. She stands right up on the line, and she does move it a little. I was staring
Right.
at her feet there.
She went up on that left toe.
Yeah.
She went up on her toes versus the tiny little step.
Oh, that's just great hands, but
Left
too
30.
good from Curtis there. And I tell you, it works on your head a little bit, those foot fault calls. Because I wouldn't call this in any way, shape, or form an egregious foot fault. She barely moves, but she is moving her front foot a little. And, we've all seen the egregious foot fault. I mean, platform tennis is probably the number one game of people getting called out for foot faults, or you talk about it on the club level all the time. There's nothing egregious about her foot fault. It's just a mental error. She's just sliding her foot a little.
15-30.
But it is a rule. It's part of the game, and it's good that they're calling them, and the umpires are looking out for it. So kudos to them, because I've seen many matches before where there is a relatively egregious football
Right.
out there, and it's not getting called ever. And that's not how it should be.
30 all.
It's got to be consistent.
All right, 30 all. Big 2
Yep.
points back there for Delmonico and Gebbia after the foot fault call. Huge.
You can see her setting her left foot there, making sure it was not going to be a part of that play. And I like that. She just stayed back, took the pressure off her.
No, since the first game when she got beat those 2 times, she's been staying back pretty much exclusively. That's a great help call. Good read from Gebbia. All set up to get that. Right in the crease again. Oh, she
30-40.
went for it. It's a shot she has. Going for a quick surprise drive. Most people, when they spin around like that, will just lob it back up. But Delmonico has that shot, and she'll use it as a surprise move.
Yep, I think Gebbia wanted that ball, actually. Because when you're in that corner, you're not positive. She's got to cover the side screen. And
She goes using some spin on the overhead now, Delmonico. Nice play. They're doing a good job of moving her to the middle, then driving her back wide down the line.
well, and that's Andrakova. She's
There's
such a good
another
player
one.
and hitting spots when she plays. Look at that lob. Phenomenal.
I thought that baseline play was literally perfect. Every ball in the right spot. And then she creeps up
Game.
and she tags her. So what
Curtis
a way to win
Andrakova,
that
take the
first
first
set.
set. 6-4.
We've always seen Delmonico just have great success really planting herself over on that side screen. But, Curtis has just figured out, okay, she goes, I'm hitting that ball hard right into her body. And just with this temperature, that ball's just moving into Delmonico's body. She can't control it.
Yeah, and you said before the word she gets herself set over there. I don't think she was set at all that time. She was in the process of moving there, but she was still caught in. And like you said, Patty, she just recognized it, Curtis, and thumped it in there good. Gets her in the body. First set.
ENET live streaming. Thanks to John Scott. Thanks to the members of the APTA for live streaming from the Stanwich Club in Greenwich, Connecticut.
So Jade Curtis to start the serving off again. In the rotation, it would have been Andrakova's serve, but they want Curtis to start the set
15
off.
left.
That's how they want it to go.
And Brad, the scoring in the semifinal match. What are we doing here?
Same as all the other matches today. We're playing deuce, but at the second deuce, it's a sudden death game. She hit her again.
30 love.
Up until the finals. Finals
Up
will go
until the
back
finals,
to
which would be
traditional.
regular scoring, all the deuces played out.
Yeah, so right here, I'll be fascinated to see if Delmonico makes an adjustment on her baseline positioning, because Curtis has her number right now.
40 love.
Well, they've taken Gebby. You know, the first 3 games that they won, Gebby was just bombing balls. And how many we've seen her bomb since that time? It's a great lob. Oh, that's a great ball from Delmonico.
40-15.
Cut through the middle. They don't recognize the spin. A little hesitation. And it seems to me, Patty, that Curtis is doing most of the movement into the middle. Taking almost all those balls in the center, and that time she got a little hesitant. That's a big ball. Great track down.
We talked about it. The middle is not safe now. But Brad, I always think for club level players, until you have someone who's crushing and you're actually losing a lot of points, the middle is your highest percentage shot.
40-30.
You let the ball drop, you can push the ball there all day long. But against the top players in the country, you have to come up with a different tactic.
Yeah, the number one difference, too, I think, oftentimes between the club players, and the middle is absolutely always a good spot. But you have to learn how to hit it consistently deep where it doesn't fly off the screen, too. And it should be one of the number one shots at any level that you learn.
Game. Curtis Underkova.
Hold.
Curtis Underkova lead the second set 1 love. They took the first set 6-4.
Well, I always think, Brad, you've had a great job teaching a ton of juniors, one of our favorite Viking Junior Tour directors. But, you know, with kids, I think it's really important, and they learn that push right away, because most of them look up to me till they're in 4th grade maybe. But, you know, I'm pushed back deep all day long, and if you just learn to just relax and let that ball drop,
15 love.
you can control the shot. You pick your spots, you do that shot over and over and over, you're going to get good at it.
Right, and it's like we talked about in the beginning. And, you know, we were talking about being able to control the pace of play from the net or the baseline when we called our first match today, Patty, and that's a huge part of your ability to control the net play tempo. Hitting that deep middle ball. That's a great
30
overhead
love.
right in there. Now, what would you like to see here from Gebbia and Delmonico? Would you like to see them change anything up? Do you want to see anything they should plug away in the same thing?
Well, I like the overhead into the out-court corner because I do believe Curtis is playing over a little bit. So I do think that's a little bit of a spot where they could
40 love.
target the play.
Great hands there from Delmonico, keeping that ball low when she was under attack. And then Gebbia finishes it.
Yeah, this is a critical hold for Delmonico Gebbia.
Oh, what a surprise return there.
Yeah.
A little lob down the line.
Really impressed with Curtis's play so far, Brad.
I think she's
A year in Florida, and she's picked up right where she left off.
yeah, rock solid.
And I think a lot of that has to do with just the calm nature of Andreikova out of that deuce court. I mean, she's just rock solid, stays really even keeled throughout every match she ever plays.
Just hits that off the side screen.
Game. Delmonico Gebbia.
Great hold.
Love
Great ball.
15.
I like this Gebbia kind of posing a little bit of a threat. So when Andreevka comes in, she's got to be aware of her moving. She handled it beautifully, just hit behind her.
Yeah, I think the mistake there, though, I like
15
also
all.
the threat, but you have to recognize the return. That return was a floater, so you don't stand in now. Now you back off, right? And you just, you don't put yourself in a high-risk situation unless the ball's underneath the net.
Yeah, she gave her way too much room to her right.
Oh, geez. Great
30,
shot there.
15.
But that's the combination that has been perfect for them. Lobbing and getting Delmonico to play an overhead from the middle of the court, and then she puts it in the middle. Then they're driving the ball wide down at the line that she just vacated.
And Delmonico didn't hit that bad an overhead. It just, Andreeva just brought it with a two-handed backhand from fairly deep in the court.
Yeah, like we
Got
said,
a little lucky, Lecord.
there's really not that many safe places to hit the ball over there. They're just a tough
40-15.
team. And they can both hit it off both sides.
I feel like Carrie's got to somehow, she's just making too many errors. I think she's just pulling the trigger a little early here.
Wow, a
when
lot
you
of
have-
leg cords.
40-30.
When you have Gebbia as your partner, it's like, how do I get her the ball? I've got to really just be determined to hit the spots all day. She doesn't have to go for it, actually.
Deuce.
But that is the question, though. How do you get Gebbia the ball if they're not going to hit it to her, right? The only way she
Right.
can do it is lobbing a little differently, but also she's going to have to plant herself over so they can't find spots. So she's going to have to force them to hit it to the middle more.
Right.
Advantage, Curtis Underkova.
Delmonico's got to get that up the line working. That would be a place to start.
Yeah,
to
I think
force
that's
the
it.
play. And, she's just lobbing a lot of balls cross court. And Jade in particular has handled the overheads beautifully.
Game, Curtis Underkova.
This is a spike
Curtis
there.
Underkova lead the second set 2-1.
And that was a
They took the
drivable
first
ball.
set,
That was a shot
6-4.
Delmonico can make and
Sure.
should make most of the time. But again, she, her bread and butter is maybe hitting that ball with a little bit of, less pace, a little off speed at Martina's feet. She doesn't have to match Gebbia's. Gebbia has natural power. Delmonico's a natural finesse type of player.
Yeah.
And I think we talked about it earlier. You have roles, and you got to stick with what got you here.
Oh, great shot. That's the key there. I think she's just going to
Lob
have to lob
15.
better. She did hit a good lob, Delmonico, on that point, but she hit it hard, deep, right at Delmonico again.
Love 30.
Great thing about Delmonico Gebbia, they're going to fight all the way through, hang in there.
Yeah, that's vintage Delmonico right there.
Great
Just
hands.
short hop, quick little swing, blocking the ball to a spot. Arlene Frommer's enjoying the action out in Chicago. Brad, she's recovering from knee replacement surgery, so she's loving the on-air coverage here of the Witch event, Stanwich Country Club.
Oh, I can imagine. You sit at home, make yourself some snacks, watch the live stream. Perfect. So, Patty, what's your Halloween costume this year?
Well, I've been thinking about some things. I asked Mark that earlier. He's got it narrowed down to
15-30.
7.
Was a great overhead right at the crease, right at the nick.
I mean, are you going to be Snow White? Because
I
I could be on that team with you.
So, I've been Snow White too many years now, so I'm going to
30 all.
shelve that one for this season.
Okay. So
I'm probably going to stay off any of the Disney princesses. But, if you think one might be good for me, I'll always listen to your advice, Patty. That's
when I
another
listen to
great
yours,
shot.
Brad.
We've seen a lot of let courts, a lot of nicks. The balls right in the corner are tremendous. I love that play for these guys. Keep going after that corner screen, because you almost want her to hit these balls at this point right now.
Curtis
And if she's
Andrakova.
not going to execute, it's good for you.
The Nick. Remember when Parsons came, when he started playing and dominating? I was fascinated how many times he aimed for the Nick and actually hit the Nick.
He's hit it so many times, and it's actually brought into a whole wave of play where people started blocking it. They weren't calling help anymore. They're like, I just
Lot
got to block
15.
this thing. Don't let it get there. And Jared Palmer, is part of his winning multiple national champions, was learning to block that ball that was going right at the crease, right at the neck. All lower than the net, not that easy, but I feel like there may be a little pressing now going on from Delmonico and Gebbia.
They're really pressing.
If Curtis and Andrakova can stay steady, don't give them, how even you're playing well, then you throw in a fault, a missed easy volley. If they can stay away from those error zones, they just look to have the better strategy and better part of the play right now. That's a
15-30.
great shot there from Delmonico.
Good combination. She kind of lucked out. Curtis came way off her line to hit a forehand volley. Could have been a routine backhand volley there. Delmonico doesn't mind.
Not at all. The one good thing is Delmonico got that drive down. She skied a couple today, and she got that
30
one
all.
low.
Yeah, they're just off a little bit, Brad. And Andrakova and Curtis are just not giving him anything.
Yeah, that's
Making
the
very
other
few
thing.
errors.
They're giving him so little. They
40-30.
took away the steamroller. They were up 3-love. We kind of forget about it at this point, because since that moment, it's really been mostly Curtis and Andrakova controlling all the tempo. That's a great ball there. Nice.
They're kind of crushing him right now. We need to see something from Delmonico and Gebbia, a little different, but it's about the consistency, Brad. It always comes down to that. And I think, Carrie's getting some good looks now, but she's just got to make them volley, let them volley.
This is a big game here. They got a chance to break back. A couple of points from it, but they're in this one.
Yep.
That's great hands.
I kind of wanted Gebbia to keep coming in there. She had Curtis volleying from below the level of the net.
Just got a little out of her reach. She made a judgment call, but
Yep.
those are two amazing volleys from Curtis.
Yeah, really good hands on a low ball.
There we go.
All right, Andrakova out of the ad court, Brad. Not for long. Literally
long,
out of
Patty.
the ad court.
Yes. Out of the ad court.
Hot
Operative
potato.
words. Wow. That's confidence taking that drive off the screen there. That was great, and missed it wide.
The ball was good.
Oh,
Advantage.
overrule.
Wow.
Delmonico Gebbia.
Wow, they needed that break. Good for them. So now it's break point.
Brad,
What-
are you headed to Chicago in a couple of weeks?
Chicago, I am on my way to Chicago, Patty. I wouldn't miss it for the world.
Nice. Okay. Well, Arlene's wondering who's going to be out there.
It's our next stop for all of you out there on the APTA Tour. Chicago Charities, one of the greatest tournaments of the year every year.
former APTA board member, John Noble, has run that event with the help of
Second
many
deuce,
others
receiver's choice.
forever.
All right, so second deuce here, and they're going to go with Gebbia, I have to imagine. So second deuce, this is sudden death point. We'll see if Curtis serves and volleys. I think she has every time.
Yep.
So I'm going to guess she's going to do it again, but Thunder, no, stays back
She did not.
and goes for the next ball there. Wow, that's too good. Great job.
Game.
Not sure I
Dominica
liked
Gebbia.
Andreikova staying in there. She
Curtis
didn't have the better of that
Underkova
play.
lead the
but
second set,
great.
3-2. They took the first
Great
set,
break of serve.
6-4.
We'll have to see how that other women's semifinal match is progressing. We'll see if we can get a score from our tournament co-chair and live streaming supervisor here, Ann Waldron. Not supervisor, Brad.
Carrie.
She's so much more than that. Helping Jerry Vian out, calling the shots on ground. Jerry was hoping to commentate a bit today, but I'm not sure that's going to happen.
A few technical difficulties. All right, that was a huge, huge game, I think, for Delmonico and Gebbia, Patty. Gives them life. They had just been kind of steamrolled a lot of the games before.
Yeah, and Gebbia, one of the most effective serves over time in the
Love
women's
15.
game. But I tell you, she didn't get very far. She stopped at the service line right there, and Martina just crushed that return. So the other women's semifinals, it's early. They've only played 3 games. We'll wait a couple more games and see how that match starts evolving.
That's
30.
a great shot. But they got caught in a switch there. They moved the ball to the other side, had 0 chance of getting in position. And you hit that ball into players with such accuracy and pure hitters like that. Pretty impressive stuff.
Hey, Brad, can you give a quick update on what's going on in the men's draw, what we have coming up in semifinal play?
40.
We got some great semifinals. Our top 4 teams are all through. On the bottom half of the draw, Compton and McNerney, who many think were in the
40.
conversation for a national championship but didn't play at all last year. They're going to be playing Hughes and Powers, our number 1 seeds,
15-40.
who had a rough first round but then righted the ship and moved on to the semifinals. And Ryan Parsons, who turned it on in both matches, being down a set against Spurs Shinodoya, who have cruised through to the semifinals. So those are like Howard's. Could be basically a semifinals of nationals coming in March.
Exactly.
I mean, except for Durant and Mitchell, which is
Without.
always in the conversation.
For sure. It looks like
30-40.
our national women's champions, Flor and Anna, Hanish and Zabori, are up. They won the first set 6-0 in their semifinal match. Big stage for Caravaggio and Morgan, and
Game.
I would expect them to make some
Curtis
adjustments
Underkova.
here and make it a much more competitive second set.
I tell you, though, Hanish and Zabori, that's just another team with great badminton. Hanish has been probably, everything's always arguably, but the best all-around player in the game for years now, I think. The ability to lob really well but bring offense whenever she volleys great, loves to blitz. And Zabori is just such a talent with so much firepower.
Hanish, to me, has a sense of what is needed and when it's needed in a match, Brad, as well as anyone in the women's game, I would say.
Love 15.
That was a big point there and a great shot from Delmonico to set that up. She brought the ball low down at her feet. Awesome shot. They got to stay with him here. I don't think they can fall behind
No, they
and have
can't.
them consolidate this break.
But Hanish doesn't overpower, just going back to that real fast. But I just love her competitive spirit. And in the moment of truth, when you're waiting for one player to take charge, most of the time, close matches the last couple of years, it's been Flor Hanish.
Now look at this. Switch in the backcourt. Question is, do they still keep going in there? If they can get it to the side screen, they're going to be okay. Interesting. They played Gebbia there 4 or 5 balls. They're going over there. I like this switch because That's been the whole thing missing in this
Left
whole
30.
turnaround was the Gebbia drives. And that switch, and they played right into it. Surprising by, Andrejkova and Curtis there.
Well, and I think that's where, what do they do to get Gebbia into it? Throwing her in that ad court and letting her be real active, just that same way
Left
Jay
30.
Curtis is doing it for her team. I think Gebbia could do that.
Oh, great move there.
Really good serve.
The ball was good.
Yeah, I think it was called out, overruled, and this time in
15-30.
favor of Curtis Andrejkova. So 15-30.
Is that Mark Ennis going? Mark is doing a great job.
Yeah, he did all the kind of promos and the videos. That great witch video that started out, The Witch is Coming.
Oh, yeah.
He's doing an awesome job.
One of our my paddle guys. Yeah, I love the creative nature to what Mark is doing and really trying to put, market and just showcase this amazing sport.
Just going to hit that. Nice job here from Delmonico, getting really active over there. Now she's building a good point here, just long.
30 all.
It's a shame.
That's where Delmonico's got to be aware. She's lobbing over Curtis, who's a little bit shorter than Andrejkova. Doesn't have to be as good a lob.
Yeah, it's also
Just has to push her back.
a little less court over that side, too. Good pace overhead. Hard at the crease. Nice little flick there. It's going right at it. Good ball.
That was
Nicely
a great
done.
overhead.
30
Caught
40.
her sneaking to the middle, slides it behind her. Beautiful backside overhead. She can't negotiate it.
And that's a tough shot for Curtis to cheat to the middle. I think if she just went directly in a straight line, that would have it wouldn't have given Carey anything.
Honestly, I love this battle that I'm seeing here from Delmonico and Gebbia. They are tightening it up, playing tougher. What a
Really good flick from Gebbia. That
Yeah.
two scored.
And there you go.
Yes.
See Curtis doing a great job going right at Gebbia there, who stays up. She's like, if you're going to stay
Yes.
up, I'm going to crack it at you.
Yep, and Gebbia got caught backing up.
Yeah.
I think real indecisive. She knew Curtis was loading up. She kind of hedged her bets. And that's the thing. You got to know when to bail.
Now we're seeing a real battle here. This is great because we're seeing the stuff we wanted to see the whole time. That's another great
What a
hands.
reaching volley from Delmonico.
Unbelievable.
With the sound effects.
But we're seeing them move Andrejkova around. They're getting some attack. Oh, she even closed in
Advantage, Curtis
perfectly. I mean,
Andrejkova.
just missed it. Got
But-
that ball under the net.
Money from Andrejkova. That two-handed backhand there.
Great ball. This is good stuff right now. And you can see the fight from Gebbia and Delmonico. And now they're starting to hit their drive and blitz. They're pushing it back off the net. This is what they need. That's just
Deuce.
great ball.
Receiver's
Huge.
choice.
Another second deuce point.
All right.
The other one won by Delmonico and Gebbia. These sudden death points they're just massively huge when you play this type of format. She's going to rip it.
Game, Curtis Andrejkova.
That's the trick there. You live it and die by the
Curtis
sword. The ball's a
Andrejkova
little
lead
lower than the
second
net.
Set, 5-2.
Gebbia had to take
took the
something
first
off that
set,
ball.
6-4.
She couldn't let up on her swing. She was just so committed to that speed.
Have you seen Gebbia actually do that, though? I mean, in all seriousness, I
No.
know she thumps it. She doesn't do that sort of off-speed roller ball. She's all in or all out, and that, I believe you're 100% right, Patty, was the shot they needed to play there. Ball's lower than the net. You've got it. The number one thing you have to do is get it over the net, which means you got to add spin, a little height, and you kind of hit an up roller and try to get somebody on the right shoulder, left shoulder, a little higher in there, and I'm not sure that's part of what she does. Tough play, though. I'm sure she's also made that shot a dozen times, too. It's just a high-risk type
Right.
ball.
Well, going back to the prior match with Mark Parsons, and we said the amazing thing is his ability to wind up and then take pace off. And it looks like the exact same swing, but then the ball moves at you at a quarter of the pace.
There we go, the switch in the backcourt again. Awesome. I love that look and those changes and the attempt to get Gebbia involved. All right, in the men's semi, Berkshire Doya lead 3-2 over Araya Parsons, who have played two tough three-setters. Berkshire Doya, I think, have lost a total of like 3 games total in their first 2 rounds.
15 love.
Good pressure from Delmonico. She kind of had a lot of pride all of a sudden right there, and she's like, they're hitting too many balls at me. I got to crush one.
Yeah, that was a great shot. Yeah, smart bail there from Delmonico. The dink and blitz.
There we go.
I liked it.
That's what we're talking about.
But good read there from Curtis. She just moved right up. She's volleying beautifully. And then whenever she's in trouble, you know she's going to a hard overhead
30 love.
and mixing in the push here and there. And a great job capitalizing by Delmonico, crushing a couple of drives there.
Yeah, you're feeling the energy and pressure now from Delmonico.
Yeah, no, and what's great about this is I haven't seen a drop in Curtis and Andrekova's play, but Delmonico and Gebbia are adding another dimension here. It's just a tough road because the other guys are playing so well, because they're giving him very little. Like for Delmonico to win that point, she had to hit two beautiful tries in the last 2 points.
Love.
Wow. Good job. Great defense. Gets a little greedy, Curtis. Hits it wide.
Game. Delmonico Gebbia.
Yeah, I'm liking the fight, Brad.
Yeah.
Now you feel it, little energy.
Now, I've been feeling it throughout when they, that huge game down 3-1 where they won the second deuce point. That was huge. And from that moment on, the level's been better. And they're finding new ways to get – they're still on the downside of it, obviously. They're fighting their way for their lives here.
Love
But
15.
they're making the right plays to give themselves a chance.
The KD whispering and facial expressions matched by no one on the
They're
women's
classics.
tour.
Classics. There's the switch, and here comes the hit. Good duck from
15
Andreikova.
all.
Good look from Gebbia. I mean, she's got that.
She does. It was pretty quick on the switch, but I think she'll take that most of the time and make it a reasonable percentage. But
But to the point, little off-speed ball there, getting the point. You're not trying to
Correct.
win the point with that drive against the volley caliber that you see out of Andreeva and Curtis.
Now see if they can get that combination back where they get Delmonico moving to the middle and then being able to hit behind her. This is the one right here if she puts it in the wrong spot where they're capitalizing, but Delmonico hitting great overheads, keeping it neutral. Oh, great spots from there.
Whoopsie. Whoopsie.
Yeah. Almost got it. Or just missed it wide. She went for that. That's a
15-30.
tough ball.
Yeah, and I don't think Curtis had an awareness that Delmonico had dropped and was just back on the baseline there.
All right, it's 15-30.
Gigantic point. Really good serve from Curtis.
I mean, that was great. Right down the middle, perfect depth. There's a switch in the backcourt. Hard with this angle to see it, but we now got Delmonico on the right and Gebbia on the left, and they're going to play into Gebbia. Switch it. Oh, just can't get there. And that was not an intentional drop volley, Patty. That was the danger of hitting a drive from deep in the court. You know, it was a miss-hit short ball.
Yep.
And she didn't have her weight forward when she hit the drive, so pays the price. That was a big point. A little confusion. Oh. Got there.
No! 40-30.
Ooh, and that leads us to match point. That was a tricky one. She was trying to really feather that. There was very little space over there on that overhead. It's such a crucial moment.
Deuce.
Did not go over. That was a great hit there from Gebbia.
So if this match is over in 2 sets, we will go catch some of the other semifinal action.
Get in there with Hannah Sabori against Caravaggio and Morgan. And they won the first set 6-love, so they were firing on all cylinders there. That's right in there, beautifully placed to get the
Delmonico
break.
Gebbia.
And they got 2 break points essentially here because the next one is going to be, if it goes to deuce, it'll be break point or match point simultaneously. Kind of like to see that, Patty.
Whoa.
Because you don't see it that often, and that's something this format allows for.
That might have been a 2-foot foul. Both steps, I'm not sure.
Oh, wow, she
Game,
plays that soft. And
Delmonico
what
Gebbia.
guts from
Curtis
Delmonico and
Underkova
Gebbia.
lead the second set 5-4.
You know, and
They
Gebbia
took
missed
the
that
first set
finesse
6-4.
overhead. Brad, and we've not seen her miss that much. And, you know, her trademark play is the finesse, and she'll go side to side to side to side, more so than most players.
Yeah, she really does switch the play, but she holds her shot and uses it actually to control the tempo to some degree, but more so than almost any other player, Patty.
Yep, and she hit the delete button. Brad, she just kept going and found a way to scrape back in, and here we go.
Yeah,
5-4.
That's why, you know, they're doing a good job making these guys close this out. They're not giving it to them. But they've been able to break them the last bunch of times, so holding has been sort of few and far between, so we'll see if they can do that. It's been from the backcourt. Now she goes for a big serve.
She did, and she's
And
got to watch
comes
the
in.
foot faults, Brad.
Yeah. Oh,
Big
it's-
swinging volley all the way across the court.
It was a swinging volley.
I know you don't teach that, Brad.
Absolutely
She just
not.
thought she saw something and she could sneak it into that at-court corner. I think when you're up 3-love in a set, you do that shot. I think you got to
15
know
all.
when to go neutral. When just to form that wall, hit boring, solid, straight-ahead volleys. Brad, as we know, when you swing it all the way across court, then your team has to chase to cover the
Yep.
next shot potentially.
Oh, this could work. Oh, she got it. Oh, Gabby, instead of
15-30.
stepping in, she waits and lets the ball play her a little. She should have moved forward and stuck that volley. She got a little flat-footed there. Great get there from Andreikova.
Yeah.
15-30.
Andreevka was dead on that next ball.
Oh, 15-40.
15-40.
All right, see if they got one more rabbit in the hat, as they say. See if they can pull this one out. 2 more match points.
Really good serve from Delmonico right up the tee to Andreekova's backhand.
There's a switch at the net. They want. That's a great ball. And that's the game, set, match.
Curtis Andrikova. 6-4, 6-4.
Kudos, Kurz and Andreikova. I mean, they just played a clean match, Brad.
Yeah,
Nice
they
match,
did.
Martina.
Well, they got down 3-0. Then they got smart, right? They froze out Gebbia for a bit, and they basically took 9 of the last,
Thank you. Nice
10 or
match,
11 games, right, to win that set and then go up in the second. And then you saw finally sort of the reaction from Gebbia and Delmonico. They started switching to the backcourt a little, tried to find a way to create more offense, and they just played too well, and they couldn't find enough offense really to hurt them. And once they took Gebbia out of it.
So we have flipped over to the other women's semifinal. And
And why don't you do our players on the court there, Patty?
sure, that's serving as our current national championship team. Flora Hanisch on the baseline, bright yellow sneakers, and that's Anna Zabori at the net. This is Allison Morgan out of the ad court, and that's Spencer Caravaggio out of the deuce court. Chicago team.
Now, we didn't get to see the beginning of this match. You think they started this way, or is this a reaction to losing the first set 6-love?
You know, Brad, I'm not a psychic, so I'm going to have to get some intel for you.
Get some
And we'll also
intel.
find out what the score is.
That's out.
We know Hanisch and Zabori won the first set 6-0. Okay, and one of our Crackerjack scorekeepers is telling us it was 3-2. They were serving a little while ago. So we'll see if we can't get a current score here.
All right, there's a fault there from Hanisch. Is there a more fun player to watch than Anna Zabori out there, though?
There is not.
Yeah,
Look at that.
tweeners, right,
The
behind the
tweener.
back, plus a forehand that she just rockets at you. A loose, fluid game coming out of her. Talent from all pores.
Oh, this is such a great setup, Brad. I just stood up from our table, and the crowd is gathered. They love watching these top women's players out here. And Zabori's nearby, and she's got that new Canaan following out here.
She does. She's director of platform tennis at the Country Club in New Canaan, and she does have quite the following out here, as does Hanisch, who was director of platform tennis at the Westchester Country Club for years. And you saw in that last point just how dangerous they are. You got Caravaggio taking a drive. That's a good ball to drive, but just Hanisch reading it, coming in and stuffing the volley. They do that almost better than any other team. Hanisch particularly, actually, as well as Zabori, but they just get up there and they stuff the volleys.
And Hanisch currently is over at Montclair Golf Club with Mickey Ordoya, and she
Zabori won the
teaches
first
tennis with her husband Martin Bostrom at Plainfield Country Club. Sorry, Brad.
No, I was just trying to catch the score there from the umpire. Couldn't quite catch it in the back. Oh, we have umpire Margaret Green
We have
in
a
the house.
lot of people
Nice
who are going to
job
get us
today.
the score, Brad.
So much. Good to see you. Thank you for your commentary. It's like a good match here.
They're up 5-2 in the second set.
All right, so fighting for their lives are Caravaggio and Morgan.
15 love.
Now, last year we saw Morgan and Sikora play a lot together. I don't know of any current changes or if
Sikora's
Sikora's not
hurt.
playing. She's hurt right now.
She's hurt.
15 all.
She was in a boot teaching paddle camps, I heard.
All right, so that'll sort of put a hold on that partnership until Sikora's getting better. We wish her a speedy recovery. Oh, she didn't pull the trigger. She lost it in the sun and was
30,
afraid to
15.
accelerate.
She moved her grip over. We saw the roller coming.
I'm all for staying back. I think it's a great strategy. But you've seen the last 3 returns that Hanish and Zabori have made. Have they put any pace on the return, Patty? None at all.
No.
So I think it's a good time to maybe have Morgan do a little moving at the net. Let him know that they're not going to just let him off pace the return too. That said, maybe they just want to be in the backcourt, but I don't know.
No, I like
That's-
that point, Brad. And look to just cut off stuff. Keep them honest. Make them power through their returns. Don't
Yeah,
don't let them just go half speed.
Because then you can get a screen drive or something else on the other end of it that allows you to take the net. Once you get your opponents, staying back's a great idea, but once you get your opponents to hit off pace returns, then you should change it up again.
30
Because
all.
now you've got them doing something that's actually good for you. Now you can cut it off, do something. Mix and match, play a little guessing game with them.
A lot of discussion. Allison's listening to you at all times, Brad. We'll see if she didn't look like she was moving up there, but
30, 40.
we've got match point for Hanish and Zabori.
Yeah, they're just, it's funny. I ran into Hanish, and she's like, "How you doing today?" She said, "Oh, doing well. We're through, but wish I was playing better. They look pretty good."
Yeah.
First deuce.
It's a
Our
great job.
men's semi's underway, Brad. We'll probably be joining that action soon. Hughes and Powers. 3-all, first set against McNerney and Compton.
Yeah, that should be a great match.
Advantage, Caravaggio, Morgan.
One of the matchups we had hoped to see last year. Brian Compton really coming into his own where people were thinking he's, up there. He played a set last year where he took it all on himself and almost single-handedly beat, I don't remember if it was actually Hughes Powers or if it was Durant Mitchell, but the stuff we saw out of him in that one set and for many other parts of the year, a lot of people understanding that he's got the goods.
He really does. A couple years ago, did we call the match semis maybe?
Yeah.
Kaler Compton.
Kaler Compton, yeah.
Pittsburgh.
And they played a tentative first set, got beat
Game,
6-2, and then they're like,
Morgan.
we can totally play with these guys, and they almost
Hanish
pulled it
Zabori
off in the
lead
second.
Second set, 5-3.
So that was second deuce. That was a match point and also a break point and a missed return there from Zabori. So staying alive, Caravaggio and Morgan. Good point there. A lot of pressure from Morgan.
Love 15.
We'll see lots of Allison's husband, Adam, this year with Tyler Frazier. Congrats to Tyler, just got married.
Yeah, those guys had a breakthrough last year too.
Breakthrough, semifinalists in nationals.
Low 15.
Do I see Parsons off the court?
Burson Erdoya won that first set 6-3. I just heard someone in the background.
Yeah, but not only that, they're off court here. So I'm going to have to guess that match is over.
Or they're moving to a court just in case we can grab some of the action.
Oh, okay. So they're just moving them.
We have 2 courts here where we have cameras on 4 courts and 2 courts where we have the possibility of adding some commentating.
All right, so great. So we get some quick men's semifinal action
15-30.
right after this. We're going to go back to back to back, Patty.
That's what it's all about, Brad.
Oh, little uncommitted on
30
that
all.
swing. 30 all. That's a great shot to bring us to match
40
point.
30.
Do you ever feel, Patty, that Zabori feels any pressure on a Zabori? They just kind of go through it. Always have positive energy, a lot of high fives. It's great to watch. Right at the crease, good read from Morgan.
Well, that's one of the things, you just feel the energy, the body language off of players, and Hanisch has, been around longer and always demonstrates that, and that's how Zabori is out of the box.
Yeah, so that's a great win for them. They move on to the finals, our number 1 seeds and our reigning national champions, Hanisch and Zabori, with a 6-love, 6-3 victory. Kudos to them. And a nice job from Caravaggio and Morgan fighting through to the semifinals.
Sets up a great final later on with Curtis and Andreikova versus Hanisch and Zabori. Kind of a dream matchup for a lot of people from the Connecticut area, where we are at Stanwich Country Club. And upcoming will be some men's semifinal action.
We are looking forward to that, Patty, as we just continue live streaming here at the Witch Tournament at the Stanwich Club. So great action to come. And as they're moving, you can see on the top of your screen there, they just got an umpire up into the chair over there. The men are going to go on. That's Burish and Erdoya against Araya Parsons. And Burish Erdoya took the first set, 6-3, I believe, Patty?
I think that's true.
All right. We can't quite hear the umpire there. We could hear shouting in the background. So right on the court right now, we have a quick introduction. That's Juan Araya with the ball in his hand, ready to serve at the top. His partner in the gray T-shirt there on the top of the screen, is Mark Parsons. And then we have Sven Burish, who is at the door there, talking to the umpire. And his partner, Mick Erdoya, who is currently off screen. And Mick Erdoya and Burish, from the moment they started playing together, just made immediate ripples right in there. Erdoya's got one of the top 4 or 5 forehands in the game. It's pretty much just automatic. He really almost never misses it, whether it's off the screen or off the drive. He's got a bit of everything. He can hit a cut finisher, but it's not exactly what you would call an automatic one. His forehand, though, is pretty much automatic. And that's why you see a lot of guys do what Araya just did there, stay back against it. Now, Burish, on the other hand, backhand is stronger than the forehand. He's got a great serve. They all volley great. Things that worry me most about That's just a heck of a shot there from Arai.
15, love.
Sometimes positioning every now and then for Bursch or Doya. You can catch Doya off the net or off his line. And just a few spots, but that's a tough, tough team, man.
So you think the score will really be 6-4 in the second set, Brad? John Scott's playing psychic out there with the scoreboard. There we go.
That's it.
I just wanted to know. He revealed his hands to me. We have a side bet.
That's it. There's that automatic forehand. He just crushed it through the middle. Nice dig. And here's what they're going to be working on more and more of. Bursch wants to continue to improve his cut finish
30,
overhead.
love.
They feel that's one of the missing ingredients to their game, where they could get a few more points. And at this level, Patty, you know, a lot of matches are decided by 4 points, you know.
Yeah, and in their evolution as a team, you know, it used to be that Mick played so many of those overheads, and he teamed up with Sven, and you've got Sven's ability to hit, you know, remarkable shots and variety on these overheads. I mean, what a luxury to have.
And we'll keep trying to give you other semifinal score. Hughes Powers, the last report against Compton McNerney was 3-all. And I have now the pleasure of actually saying goodbye and thank you to Patty Hogan, Hall of Famer Patty Hogan, and bringing in my good friend Mark Fischel here to do the men's semifinal. Mark, welcome.
Thank you very much, Brad. I watched the first set of this match, tightly contested set, a couple of 3-all points or no-ad points with the way of Bursch or Doya, and that was the difference.
Yeah, it's amazing how that format really does make it interesting. You know, we had a couple of instances where you could have match point, break point, right? And it's fascinating.
There were 3 no-ad points, all went to Bursch or Doya, and the set was 6-3.
Yeah, difference in the game. Those 3 points, amazing.
What do you think of the no-ad scoring, so to speak? I know it's second deuce no-ad, but what's your opinion on that, Bradford?
I like this format just because of the amount of play that has to come for the players in a day. And it adds kind of an exciting element to it. And I don't think the final should be played that way. I think it should be straight up.
Do you prefer that to Super Breaker for the third instead?
I do. Because I think Super Breaker's not enough. Too many things can go wrong. It is enough time for a good team to come back, but doesn't allow for quite the momentum shifts as a real set does.
Yeah, my one concern with the no-ad second deuce is you're putting a lot of emphasis on one particular point, which the beauty of our scoring system normally you don't have.
Well, there's certainly no question about that, Mark. And that is basically the crux of the entire conversation, whether you value that more or the other way.
Boy, Araya's missed some sloppy shots.
Out.
Big early point here, Brad.
Yeah.
Tell you, I watched Mark Parsons go up the steps between the quarters and the semis. And let's just say it wasn't spry.
No, it has definitely been around the block. I mean, clearly in the age factor, Bursch or Doya
set. 1 game to love.
are well ahead in that department.
And they really weren't challenged much today either.
I think they've lost 3 total games, now 6 total, in their 3 matches they've played so far. So you're right about that.
And to your point, Bradford, that's one of the reasons the no-ad scoring in the second deuce is so important, because too often draws determine who win and lose matches. You get a bad draw, you play a couple of tough matches, you had nothing left.
Sure. Yeah,
Which may be the case here anyway.
I've been on the side of both of it. I've been on the side where I've steamrolled an opponent who was exceptionally good because they had nothing less from the round before, and I've also gotten steamrolled via the same way.
I remember your quarterfinals and nationals in
Oh, my
Cincinnati
goodness.
when Brian
Yeah.
Uline couldn't stand up.
Yeah, I think we beat those guys like 1-1, and they're an exceptional team, a 2-time national champion team. They just
Oh, I assume most of that was
gassed
because
out.
of Alex Banchila. That's why the guys won so easily.
Alex was a great partner and one of the great talents in the game for sure.
At least that's what he told me about the match.
All right, 15 love here.
Yeah, you get the feeling this thing is slipping away from Araya Parsons.
Yeah, and the question is, like you said, what do they have in the tank?
30
They put a
love.
lot of emotion into their first 2 rounds. I mean, in both cases, fighting hard, coming
Lost
back
first
from
set.
down.
Yeah, lost first set in both matches.
And then they won the next 2 sets 6-1, 6-1 against, Humphreys and Ossis Koenig. But they were putting in the time and the effort and a lot of emotion there, and the same against Rams and Wagner.
That was a much closer match. That was 4-4 the last two sets.
30-15.
And now we've reached the point of the day when the sun starts to get really bad here.
You know, it's been a perfect day for paddle, and if you had to choose one way or the other, you would want it to be sunnier in the morning and
40,
then go worse.
15.
At around 4 o'clock, it's going to get ugly out there. The sun's going to be right up in the face. You're going to have to make some adjustments on tosses and serve. You might even want to play an overhead that you would take with your forehand on the other side of your body with your backhand. And there's definitely some benefit to having a team with a lefty in sun scenarios.
The other issue here, too, is these guys, Burrish or Doyle, are looking right at the bubble, the big white bubble, which provides a lot of glare as well. Parsons is saying he lost a couple of balls in their match, just looking into the bubble.
Yeah, that's a great point, Mark. Didn't even occur to me that that would be the case. I haven't really been on the court to see those things. Bursch or Doya pretty much
30.
straight up. They don't switch around a lot. They are at the net, but they've become very good volleyers. They're a tough team, a lot of range. You can catch them out of position from time to time, but that's just 2 volleys Parsons may come up with. But I think anytime you come in against the Erdoya forehand, you're playing with a little bit of fire.
65 degrees, the ball's coming hot off the wires. I saw Ryan make a couple mistakes like that in the first set. You can't afford to give points away like that.
15, love.
I bet we won't see that twice more. You don't see Erdoya miss returns. It's about as automatic a shot in the game.
Yeah, I would say with the exception of the Durant forehand, it might be the best forehand in the game.
Yeah, it's certainly up there, and there's a great move.
All.
Parsons too tired to get close to the net. Anytime somebody's moving forward, if you don't get close, your better play is to leave and lob. Because even in an even up scenario, the guy moving forward has the advantage. And that's just great, and we see that. That's one of the elements
15,
they're trying to add.
30.
Confidently done by Burrish. Great job.
If Bursch or Doyle just don't give anything away, and you've seen Parsons and Araya giving a bunch of points away.
I mean, certainly now, I'm going to think fitness is playing something here. See, that's the ball there that if you're
30
Erdoya,
all.
you're too far off the net in that scenario. You got to get up and volley down or get out of there more.
Compton McNerney up 5-4 first set against Hughes and Powers.
That seems like it must be a grind over there. They're working hard. Not even done with the first set.
Yeah, it's really good to see Compton
Advantage
McNerney
out.
playing. They're a fun team. Brian Compton, really talented.
Yeah.
Myriad of shots. Great to see him back on the court. And Graham McNerney, who struggled with a knee issue last year. Oh, what did I say about not
Wow.
giving anything away, Bradford?
There was just a couple, and they had
Parsons,
good looks in both of those.
Araya.
Just missed a couple volleys and a missed return there.
Erdoya, Burros
Well,
lead
that game
the
was a
second
complete
set.
donation. You really
2
feel
games
like
to 1.
Araya Parsons are on the edge here.
They are on the edge, and you can kind of see it, but there's nothing that gets you back from the edge quicker than a few donations from your opponents. But
Donations are always accepted. Great crowd here at the Stanwich Club.
yeah, it's a really perfect venue.
A little warmer. This morning was kind of cold.
It was a little bit the right way. It felt good this morning to have the temp be in the 40s. At least it's not 80. You know, we really had kind of an Indian October. It's one of the warmest Octobers I remember out here on the East Coast, Mark.
It's 2 serving 1, guys.
So 2 serving 1, Sven Burrish serving 2-1. Yeah, like Araya's just giving away a lot of
15,
points
love.
that way.
Just missing that one by not a large margin, but one of the great things about Berger, that's impressive. That's a beautiful ball there.
Oh, he hit the net. Well, I guess not. Thought he ran into the net.
It's a great shot from Bursch on the turnaround there. Wow, good point.
30, love.
That was a ball you thought Parsons made the right decision coming in behind. But as it turned out, not so much.
That's a smart play there from Bursch, I think. You know, Nerdoya and Araya probably, if you had to use the term, I guess I'll use the term machismo. People with machismo on the court, they're two of the guys with some of the most
30,
machismo out there.
15.
They don't back down. They go forward. You know, they don't bail out. They barely do what Bursch did, which is hit a lob and retreat. There.
Absolutely. Just can't afford to miss that shot
40,
at this stage of the match.
15.
I feel like they're going to go down swinging, Mark, meaning they're either going to make those and work their way back in, or they're going to make them and just lose.
I thought it was the right swing. It just in his happy spot and his best shot, he just missed it.
And what's great about Bursch or Doy is they do seem to have the ability to speed things up or slow it down. They don't mind if a ball goes 100 times. And they don't mind when it gets going fast. They're good across the board.
Yeah, I think their willingness to play slow has really been a huge advantage for them.
It's a good ball, nice.
Because Araya talks about playing slow from the backcourt, but not at the net. He's always looking to play fast.
40, 30.
A little bit of a mental blurt there from Bursch.
Yeah, don't
It's
see too many
interesting,
of those.
Bradford, that he always drives the ball one-handed off the wires with the backhand. He's got
But-
such a great two-handed shot.
Right, it's unique in that regard. It's sort of just how he started and how he continued. You know, he likes it, and he will mostly only hit it if it's high enough. But he's getting better with it. The length of burst is also a really useful thing. Great shot, not ready.
Caught him reaching with the forehand a little bit.
Yeah, but he didn't look ready to me, Mark, as if a high backhand to, Parsons isn't going to get pummeled.
Well, to your credit, Brad, you were talking about how he doesn't like to bail. That was, high Parsons backhand. You probably want to get out of there. Couple of fast mistakes there.
And out.
Well, they're
Nerdoya.
bleeding just a couple enough points here. They want to shut the door on these guys, and they're giving them one or two, and there's a couple of rips,
Game,
and you still see
Araya
the energy
Parsons.
from Araya.
Yeah.
He's giving it the fist bump.
Well, Araya's a freak of
Second
nature,
set,
Brad. Going to
tie.
be 45
2
next
games
year, and
apiece.
he never seems to get tired. It's just remarkable.
Absolutely. I mean, he stays incredibly fit. He probably runs 60 miles a week. He's just a great athlete. He's 45 years old. He played pickleball for a season. He got 10th in singles with guys that are 25.
Oh, what a skilled athlete. Yeah, you talked about shutting the door. They didn't shut the door. They opened it wide up.
And we'll see if they can continue with it. Just out. Great. Right on the line. No, not out.
Bursch with the vaunted no call.
That was. I was believing him, and so was Erdoya, but he tracked it all the way and got it back. That's a great lob. Oh, backing away, forehand volley from behind the
15,
body.
Love.
Bradford, lefty-righty combinations. Big advantage on the lobs, big disadvantage on the volleys. Talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, it's definitely an advantage on the lobs. It gives you the opportunity to attack both sides of the court with much greater efficiency. It also gives you the ability to deal with sun with greater efficiency on the overheads.
30, love.
But on the volleys, you got two chicken wing kind of volleys in the middle there, off the left hip of the lefty and off the right hip of the righty. So good teams that are lefty-righty have to get tighter to one another at the net. And there you saw
30,
Bursch and
15.
Erdoya. To me, that is their biggest weakness, that type of missed volley. Bursch should have been up and in and tighter, and Erdoya should have been off to his right a little more there. You can find seams on them here and there.
Now, you think that's a result of the fact that Erdoya likes to volley on the forehand side more? I mean, you watch Drew Broderick never hits a forehand volley.
Right. yes, there is some degree of that. Both Bursch and Odoya do like to do that. Strangely, they're also kind of rangy, so I think for them it's a little bit of they get one, they don't get one. That's
40,
just
15.
supremely
Filthy.
done. Filthy is the word. You know, and they'll hit a fair amount of but you can catch them, and you can catch them off the net too. You know, whereas you could never catch Broderick off the net. You know, he just right on top, and he volleys down, right? And I've talked about it in a bunch of the matches today. You have choices, and you know, for a lot of guys, that's something for them to learn. So you got both guys at the service line. Like we watched before, Rams, Wagner, you always saw Wagner right on top of the net.
Right on top of the net.
I mean, but he's also having Philip Rams hit every single overhead. You know, if Rams gets more than 5 overheads, it's a surprise. I mean, if Wagner gets more than 5 overheads, it's a surprise. That's a tough team. Looking forward to see more of.
Oh, Philip Rams is fun to watch. So smooth.
Yeah.
It's a lot like Araya does.
It's a good point here. These guys are working it. He's going to go cutter. Ah.
Well, he has missed that shot more today
40,
I think I saw him miss it all of last season. That backhand off the back wire is usually a deadly shot of his.
He definitely uses it and his ability to be, you know, unpredictable and to blitz behind it, actually.
Yep.
Brazenly, and yeah, missing. It's a surprise to see a lot of that. Comes off so far, they just stay back.
Oh, great volley from Araya there.
Perfect.
Just stepped in.
He's going to cut, drop. Misses it, though.
Deuce.
Nicely done. Good track down by Odoya. I wonder if his movement put any pressure on Araya, but I think he just missed it.
First.
Deuce number 1. Oh, volley from Parsons. This will be a big game for Burschdoy to come back and win.
Oh, gorgeous overhead.
Add out.
Like 40-15, bunch of errors off the Odoya paddle, and then bam, they lose 3 points in a row.
Oh.
Game. Iroida.
That is just a
Burrows.
total donation right there.
Yeah, that's an easy forehand miss from
Iroida
Araya.
Burrows lead the second
I was wondering
set,
where
3
Odoya was
games
going on that ball
to
as he
2.
came to net.
First set was won
Sometimes
by
your bark is
Odoya
worse than
and
your
Burrows,
bite.
6 games to 3. Check it.
All right, now he's saying check it to the players. A new
I have-
ball's being
I have
introduced.
2 more.
And checking
cool.
to see if it's
Thanks.
possibly a little out of round, which does happen on occasion.
Where they're moving that. Okay. Okay, cool. Thanks. Here's it.
Pretty impressive semifinals here on the men's side. And we're looking forward to a great women's
fight.
final right after this.
Yeah, it's good to have Jade Curtis back. She's so explosive, fun to watch. And of course, Flor Hanish's first tournament back since having the baby.
3 serving.
But they've barely been challenged at all. I don't know how many games they lost in the first 3 matches.
Hanish and Zabori?
Yeah.
Yeah, very few. And they lost 3 in their semifinal victory.
Love
6-love,
15.
6-3.
So they're going to be very fresh for the final. But I think Andrzejkovic Curtis lost a couple of sets en route. See, I just don't understand Parsons coming in behind that ball.
Great leave, though. He doesn't do anything with it. Smart there. There you go, Bursch. Will throw that lob up. Not likely Odoya does that. He probably dinks or goes right at his body hard.
Not completely Bradford, but it reminds me a little bit of the Durant-Broderick matchups, where Durant was playing to win the points and Broderick was playing not to lose them. So So you really have Araya playing to win the points, and Burrish and Odoya are just so patient from the backcourt. They feel like ultimately they're going to get a swing. And
Nice spike there from Burrish. Spike back. Oh,
15 all.
looked like Parsons' feet didn't want to go up in the air there.
so rangy, Burrish. Got caught moving the other ways. Long arms, reaches out and gets it anyway. He's got a great roller into
30,
that deuce
15.
side. And he does a great job with it because he'll hit it at the crease, and then he'll also hit it at the first post or the seam, and he gets it to rebound into the player.
That's smart play from Burrish.
Yeah, he's been doing it really well and cannot track it down. Gorgeous stuff
30
from
all.
Araya. Now called good by
stand.
Parsons.
Advantage in.
Nicely done.
With it, Burrish, the Odoya served to the ed court, the deuce court, and the Burrish served to the ed court are both tremendous.
Yeah. Great job, but it's so warm out, they're not going to lose net. Now they will. You know, at this level, Mark, you know, you have your basics of the game. You have net play, hitting your lobs and overheads, backcourt play with drives and lobs, and serve, return to serve, first volley. But at this level, transition is also a huge part of the game, and it's one of the separating things.
And there, Odoya's forehand
Deuce.
catches the net, goes out. Is first deuce or second deuce?
Going to wait for the umpire.
I guess first deuce.
I think it is. Just missed.
Add out.
So 2 chances to get back on serve. If they need it.
I think Araya Parsons definitely need it.
They definitely need it right now. You can see where they're both way off the net.
Not that time. Reading that ball, Odoya. Burrish overhits. There are a lot of players who won't even go into that side screen of Parsons. But these guys are baiting him a little bit and closing. And I think it's working for him to a degree. Playing with fire, though. That's just out.
Those are the
Deuce.
balls you can't
All right.
miss.
Deuce 2, gentlemen.
Sudden
Deuce
death.
Yeah. Just can't afford to give away those points.
All right, they're going to have Araya take it.
Interesting to go to Araya. Odoya serves so much better on the deuced court.
I agree.
And Araya charging on that ball. Not sure where he's going. Just
That is
Game.
out.
back-to-back
Odoya
lob
Burrows.
misses.
I mean,
Odoya
I'm going to chalk it
Burrows
up to
lead the
fitness a little
second
bit, a
set.
little
4
weariness.
games to 2.
Because I got nothing else to chalk it
Yeah.
up to, really, Mark.
Yeah. Good a guess as any other. And now we have almost a must hold from Parsons.
15, love.
You know, and Burris or Doyer are playing well, but Doyer's missed a few more forehands than I've seen in a while.
Agreed. I mean, that game that Uriah Parsons lost at 2-all from 40-15 when Adoya had missed several balls.
Nice. I think the Burris overhead is much improved. He's really getting confident. Cutting it in there, putting extra pressure on, and then they do a good job of closing off the net. He does find the hip pocket there
30,
of Burris.
love. $30, 15.
Houston Powers in a tiebreak
Wow.
with Compton McNerney.
They're battling over there. Yeah, I think you're right, Mark. I mean, we
30
got four,
all.
probably, you'd have to say 4 of the top 5 teams in the country, you know, right now playing in the semifinals here. Just missing Durant and Mitchell. And then there are so many other talented players out there as well, but that's just a great play.
Add
That
in.
was vintage Uriah Parsons. It's exactly what they want to bait you into doing.
Right. He comes in and Parsons hits a ball into the net. Raya stays and just finishes out when the ball goes up.
There was a two-hander from Burris off the back wire.
Yeah.
It's such a great shot. I'm not sure why he doesn't do more of that. So it's add in for Uriah Parsons. And these big points have all been won by Burris Urdoya. It's so smart of Burris there to bail out.
Just reading the play. Oh, that's a good overhead.
Burris loves that waterfall overhead, doesn't he?
Yeah, guys of his height can do it. And
Cheers.
I mean, Araya does that, and he makes it plenty. But whenever he misses it, Mark, you're like, he shouldn't have hit it. But yet he does. He hits it all the time. You got to take the good and the bad.
Yep.
Nice move.
They catch you,
And
Nick.
Add
They
in.
totally got him taking the pace off, and Araya finally made a move over, which I think was spectacular. It's a big, big point. Gotta stay close. Tell you, Burris's backhand return looks more compact to me. He's taking it early. Like it. Raya getting active at the net.
Great blitz by
Game.
Burris.
Uriah
I
Parsons.
don't think Uriah saw him coming.
Well,
Urdoya,
Raya shouldn't have
Burris
seen him. He's
lead
looking
the
at the
second
ball. It's
set.
Parsons who's got to
4
see him
games to
coming.
3.
Yeah. No evidence of it at all.
That was a great hold for Raya Parsons. I mean, I don't know what they got left in the tank to come back from that distance away. So, good job staying close.
That was a must game.
The pressure back on.
Sven, I got it right now, huh? Urdoya. I got it. Took a little while.
The umpire. It's no easy task for an umpire up there. There's a lot of names and a
Yeah,
lot
but
of vowels.
The players
and a
are
lot
so
of
appreciative of all your calls. Not.
Gentlemen, 4-3.
Okay, Sven Burish to serve. 4-3 second set.
switch at the net. Easily done.
Was
Oh,
that
that's
big
just-
backhand from Parsons.
Yeah, but he was all over that, and he misses that wide, going for the hard wide overhead.
Yeah, Raya was questioning it. I
That's
thought
okay.
that ball was clearly
Okay.
wide.
Ball stands 15,
Yeah,
15
look to
love.
me. I mean, it's a free question, right? Just ask. The umpire could say, oh, I saw it good. Comes in your favor. Good job by the umpire. I think the umpiring today has been great, Mark.
Seems like we've had very few conflicts on the court. Which of course makes the umpire's job easier than ever. He's looking for that nick, isn't he?
Yep. And if a rye goes over to cover, it'll start hitting the roller towards the first post. Works it around. Great play there from Parsons. Araya reading it.
Burris is just a rock at the net.
He's super solid. And he's doing a great job with his overheads today. He's mixing paces. Like there's just a super slow one, then he'll hit two cutters in, and they're all going just out of reach. There's nothing to get good purchase on or an attack on, and then he cut
30
finishes one.
love.
Tremendous.
30 love. You really sense like if Bursch or Doya keep their foot in the gas, they're going to win this match. Fusion Powers up 4-3 in the tiebreak.
Oh,
40 love.
surprising miss there.
I don't quite know what happened there.
You know, sometimes you just misread it off the side, and he probably thought it was coming out a little further. It could have hit the seam. We don't get to see everything on our point of view.
Game.
and that's a
Irdoya
good
Burros.
Right back up to
Irdoya
5-3.
Burros lead the second set. 5-3.
That's great blitz. Nicely done. He knows anytime
15.
Bursch has a forehand, if I was partner, I'd feel very confident running forward at any time.
On the Ardoya forehand, yeah.
I'm sorry, on the Adroit forehand, sorry.
But that all started with such a bad overhead from Araya into the Ardoya forehand. That's what you got to avoid when he's over there.
That was pretty lackluster, I'll give you that. Just good overheads over there. He's cutting and moving the spots. Wow, but that's going out, and he's just spinning him around a little.
Love 30.
2 points from the match.
Pretty good stuff over there from Bursch. Much improved cutting overhead. Oh,
Boy, they look
Love
done right now,
40.
Bradford. Triple match point. Have to find out if they're going to switch the Hughes Powers match.
well, they're not. They're bringing him over. We're hearing off the side here that they're moving their court, so I assume they're going to wait till the end of the tiebreaker.
Yep.
And if we catch them, we're going to catch them with one team up a set. So that'll be some fun bonus action as we continue to live stream here at the Witch. And there it is. Game,
match.
set, and
Arroyo,
match.
Burroughs. Erdoya Burroughs win. 6-3, 6-3.
I mean, they just were solid, Mark.
Yep.
And you gotta think there might not have been quite enough in the tank for Araya Parsons, but it also, like you said, in the first set they lost 3 no-ad points, and you know, if they get 1 or 2 of those, we could be talking a different story here. You never know.
How much stock do you put in fall paddle, Bradford?
I don't really put any stock in it, but this is pretty high level.
This is pretty high level.
It is not. You know, I know for a fact, actually, we had a great text in from Scott Kaler. The Pittsburgh guys, and Graham McNerney now lives in Pittsburgh. They've been out there playing summer paddle all summer long with each other, drilling, playing tough matches. Those guys have come in. Like, Rams and Wagner look good, and they came in spot on, like playing a lot of paddle.
Mid-season form.
Yeah, kind of mid-season form. And for some of these guys, like Hughes and Powers, I know they weren't even going to play, and then they were like, we'll play. And I think to some degree, this is a little bit of their warm-up while they're trying to find their form. Araya Parsons, I don't think, played much before this as well.
I don't think Parsons has played at all. Araya's played a couple of tournaments with Patricio Mistrano.
Yeah, that's true. He was in Rochester. And actually, that's sort of what they were talking about for the Pittsburgh guys when I got that great text from Kaler. He said, one of the teams that went to the finals out there beat, those guys. They beat Mistrano and Araya on the way to the finals. And because they've been playing paddle all summer long. So I don't put a ton of stock in it, but it's still no surprise these guys are out. And this is pretty good. That was good paddle.
Yeah, other than that one stretch in the second set, Bursch or Doya didn't give anything away.
Yeah, Ong and Weiss winning Rochester, and that's a team from Pittsburgh. Orion and Mistrano that's a really good team. I mean, so that's pretty impressive stuff. And they went on to beat Hanson 11 in the finals. So the Pittsburgh guys are in mid-season form, and we're going to move over now.
Hughes and Powers won the first set, Bradford, and they'll be moving over to play the second set against Compton McNerney shortly.
And like you said, though, talking about putting stock in kind of fall paddle, Mark, Hughes and Powers, had like a barn burner of a first set. Took forever. They were playing out here. It seemed like all the other first-round matches were done, and then they were going another hour after. Then they lose the second set 6-1, but then they come out and win 6-love. But it could have, you don't know. Last year, same time, I believe, they lost to Court and Granjero in one of the early tournaments. Then they sort of turned it on, won 2 tournaments. I mean, Nationals, a lot of rain.
Yeah, hard to throw. Hard to take.
You can't take any of that away, except for the fact that you can take away from Nationals on the men's side last year how great Johan Durant really is, because of all the guys playing in the rain, he was just by far the best. No glitches.
So he's the best in the dry, and he's the best in the rain, and probably on the in between, he's the best also.
Yeah, but I got him in bridge, and I got him in.
Kicked his ass in bridge, didn't you?
So he's got something to think about.
Yeah,
he's not the best at everything. He's not the best at everything, but. So anyway, within that heavy rain, it's that Nationals last year, it's you can't even quantify it, but you can in the sense like Bursch and Doyer, they weren't there, and they went to the finals. It's no because of the rain. It's because of that
not a fluke. But that semifinal match with Hughes and Powers,
it was rough.
The court was just awful.
Yeah, one set with Bursch basically blowing it by not getting his serve in, then the next set with Powers with Hughes basically blowing it a little bit by not getting his serve in, and then actually Bursch and Adoya did the best adjustment of the game, So, but we'll look forward to seeing how Powers and Hughes are doing now. That sounds like a great match with Compton McNerney. So we're looking forward to seeing that in action.
Yeah, that third set of the final came down to Mitchell and Burrish and who could get their serve in the box.
And you see Jackie Cameron out court there, cleaning up the water bottles and getting the surface ready for play. I just saw
Now we
Mark
just-
Powers go to the restroom, I think. Quick
We need
bathroom
4
break.
players to get out there and play, and we'll be good to go.
Yeah. Well, if it's 5 more minutes, Mark, I hear they're suiting you up. You know, so-
That'd be a real mistake.
Yeah, I think you're right, actually.
Okay, there's Mark Powers. John Hughes. We're 50% of the way there, Bradford.
Making their way out onto the court.
Kudos to the players for being willing to switch in the middle of a match.
You know, I think that's great. I personally think in the past it's been a bone of contention for a lot of guys. For my own self, look, I get you're playing on a court, you don't want to be disrupted, but it's the same for everybody out there. And I think it's a good thing for the game, so I'm happy they're coming around to that.
Yeah, I think it is a good thing for the game. The one variable here that you don't have at most clubs is the difference between the bubble as a backdrop and the bubble not as a backdrop on that other court.
Well, look, I mean, you're bringing up the reasons not to switch and things like that, Mark, and you could also have a court that's been newly surfaced and a court that isn't. You know, most clubs, you know, that are running a tournament, they don't have all 4 courts resurfaced at the same time. You might have one with a little more grit, one with a little less grit. You know, most clubs resurface their courts once every 3 to 4 years. You know, that's sort of the basis. I know for us, we really do one a year, you know, so there's always a court that's a little different from the others. But by and large, you know, I think it's a good plan, and they should be switching the courts. And I think at other times it's just been almost like a tug of war between players and, if you want to call the APTA management, so to speak, you know, where, well, we're not switching, you know.
Yeah, I do think that one of the things the APTA's got to do a better job of is hosting its tournaments at clubs that can handle rain. Because if you don't have courts that can be played in the rain, that's a problem.
It is a tricky thing. I mean, last year we definitely saw some rough conditions. And
I mean, Johan Durant refused to play on that court they played the semis on. That's why they played in the other court. He's
Yeah.
worried about falling, which you understand. I mean, it's his
Sure.
livelihood.
Yeah. I mean, no question. So, all right. So I wonder what the umpire is going to be up there. Is that going to be Mike Chimsky in the chair?
I think so.
Okay.
He's certainly on the ground.
He's on the ground, about ready to get up in the air, in the bird's nest. Do we have a name for the umpire chair other than the umpire chair aloft?
I don't know, Brad. Do you like bird's nest?
I mean, I'm stealing it from, crow's nest, bird's nest. I
nest.
don't know. When
Perch.
Patty's up there, if Patty were in the chair.
We call it
Patty
Patty's
Hogan,
perch.
Patty's perch? That would be it. She'd be a formidable umpire, Patty.
Looks like we got Mark Bliss in the chair.
All right.
Well, headed towards the chair. Hopefully he's going to make it up there.
You ever gotten up into those?
Unfortunately, I can say I have, Brad.
I just would leap. Just leap up.
Why would you get up any other way?
All right, so Mark Bliss in the chair. And Mike Chimsky handing him the... it's nice to do the play-by-play of the umpire in the chair.
And Chimsky takes the ladder down. He's walking off the court.
Incredible skill there.
Unbelievable. I see Graham McNerney out there.
That's good because he's playing the match, apparently.
So we're just missing Brian Compton, and then we can play a match. We get another set or two of these guys.
We just got a visit here from Wadaraya who says he was cramping in both legs. Yeah, not an easy job for. Well, he's what is he, a quadgenarian? I don't know what they.
He's half an octogenarian.
Half an octogenarian. But
actually, we were at lunch with Max Lepavere, and Juan was making fun of Lepavere because he's always getting tired and cramping. Apparently, Lepavere had cramped after 2 matches at Sound Shore. The French people are notoriously bad stamina.
Should take a nap between matches. So you make McNerney and Hughes just chatting there as we finally get ready to go underway. Do you think they'll take a little warm-up or just get right into it? I mean, this is quite a long break.
Yeah, I would
between
think they're
sets.
going to hit a couple of balls.
It's great to move the match, but this is almost like a whole nother vibe. You know what I mean? Like it's like we're starting the match, yet it's a 7-6 win for Powers Hughes in the first set. but it's got a different feel. It feels like they're just warming up and getting ready to go out there, yet the match is already underway.
It's a little bit like Stefanos Tsitsipas taking those bathroom breaks in between sets, disappears for 8 minutes.
Yeah, but this one isn't player-induced. It's, so we can get more good live stream action.
Yep.
So, and Tsitsipas did come under fire, for those of you out there who don't know, for taking allowed bathroom breaks for 10 minutes or whatever they are.
I don't think they have a rule on how long it can be.
Yeah, that's the. I think that's what it came out, and it's it came down as being possibly perceived as gamesmanship as much as just taking it back, and it might have been. But the honesty is the rules allow for that.
The rules, right? If the rules allow it.
The rules allow for that. So.
And then supposedly there was some talk about whether he did or didn't take his phone into the bathroom, and he was texting.
Getting coaching and
Yeah,
texting.
I don't even know what the APTA has rules about coaching.
I don't know. Can you get on Bumble on your changeovers?
I think Mark Powers was looking to you for some advice, Bradford.
Right. Can I just do the earpiece?
There you go. We did see Parsons checking his iWatch in the last match.
Yeah,
in
with
the quarters.
technology these days, I'm sure
Yeah.
Dana's out there. His wife, Dana Parsons. Yeah.
I mean, on the APT tour, ATP tour, I wonder if you're allowed to wear an iWatch. My guess is no.
I mean, never really thought of it till you brought it up this moment, Mark. But since we're having this conversation, it could very well be that they need a rule against it if they don't have one, and it may already be mandated that you cannot wear it.
Okay,
Right,
so answer to your question is no, there will be no warm-up.
And they go right into it. So, quick introduction to the players on the court, Mark. Why don't you go ahead?
The closest to us in the blue, all blue, is Mark Powers, and his partner, the lefty, is John Hughes. And on the far side of the net with the baseball cap backwards is Graham McNerney, and his partner in the dark shirt, Brian Compton.
Yeah, it's early season paddle, as you said before. Powers Hughes did win the first set 7-6, and it's always a curiosity, Powers and Hughes, how they're going to do this. In the past, they've been more. They can kind of float it both ways. Mark Powers has a very good overhead, but they've oftentimes wanted Hughes to take the power, to take more of the overhead, so Powers can close off the net a little bit more. But they can work it both ways, and then oftentimes in a point, they'll switch between it.
And one of the things
About
Patty
15.
Hogan and I talked about one of the earlier matches, Brad, is the guys that generate the most spin seem to deal with the spin the best defensively.
That's a good serve there from Powers.
Compton backhand is just tremendous.
Yeah, he is tough. I mean, so if we're talking about styles and conventional wisdom, is that McNerney is aces at the net, can finish, one of the best volleyers in the game. He's rock solid,
Great overhead.
He can finish it, moves around. He hits, as some people were saying, he hits more kind of waterfall up down overheads, but he gets away with it because he does it perfectly. He gets it up over the heads of his opponents, and when they drive it, he's so good at volleying, he just sticks them back. But the conventional wisdom on this team would be to play him more in the backcourt. He's not going to miss much, but he's also not going to hurt you as much. Whereas Compton can bring it off both sides. Backhand's probably a better wing, but his forehand's darn good too.
Now, Compton didn't play much last year, but the Nationals in Darien in 2020, he and Kaler had an absolute terrific match with Hughes Powers. Hughes Powers won the first set at love and looked unbeatable, and Compton just caught fire. Second set was a tiebreak, and Mark Powers had to put on a Superman cape to win that set.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. I was talking about it with Patty Hogan, and he did. It's like he announced himself. We had always known he was very good, but he announced that he had a whole nother gear, and that's what we're hoping to see again this year.
Well, that match, he was hitting the ball. It seemed like it was almost impossible to volley. He was hitting it with so much pace.
He was hitting it from everywhere at all pace. You do not, however, you got to be careful. Hitting the ball high up at McNerney can be dangerous. He's also very good with the screen drives. It's more the slow ball off the deck that he doesn't thump with the forehand.
Which, ironically enough, John Hughes has the same issue.
Yeah, and he's working on it because everybody knows what's going to happen, and so he's working on being unpredictable, taking it earlier, generating more racket head speed so that guys can't dictate the pace of play against him. He has to still remain able to dictate the play. And, and that's the trick of a lot of it, because Hughes Powers really don't ever have to miss. The more athletic he gets, the better they get, and when guys figured out they could start to control the pace and hit a shot, they could start to just hang around in these matches. Then you get them to miss one, they lose a little confidence, and now you're in it, or you're winning it.
How about the righty-lefty combination here, Bradford? How do you like the way they play the net in comparison with Burris or Doya on the volleying side?
They're just so much more traditional, and that's how they feel comfortable right now. The other teams will sort of mix into more poaching and cutting off balls, even floating eyes back in there. So, that's a good look there.
15 all.
That's the play. So if you're going to bail, that's sort of the wisdom, right? Make McNerney beat you with a forehand, and you might say the exact same thing on the other side. Make Hughes beat you with that soft ball to the forehand. Not hard. You hit it hard into the screen. These guys are going to run around, bang it down, and be blitzing behind it. Just that soft ball to the forehand.
So it's 15 all, first game, second set.
Yeah, and Mark, based on what the first set was, which was over an hour, and based on this play right here, we could be here for another.
So you're saying don't make any dinner plans, Brad?
Don't make any dinner plans, Mr. Official. I mean, these guys are going to play, and in general, they're very disciplined. That's a great ball. He sees him off the net.
15-30.
A little loose. He catches him.
McNerney's got so much feel on the court. Really an old school player in a lot of ways. In the backcourt, at the net, completely new age.
Yep. Oh, missed drive from Compton
30 all.
there. Couldn't quite get out of the way of it.
How would you rate the backhands, Bradford? Burrish and Compton and Parsons.
I mean, so it's sort of like that. The Parsons backhand is
30,
it's
40.
probably all time, and I guess I'd have to go at this point, and this is taking nothing away from anybody. What a hands there from, shocking. He had the play he wanted, and if you're going to do the blitz, John Hughes is a very good volleyer, but he's a traditional volleyer. He doesn't volley up and move down. Hit it at him, you might get the loose ball, and he did. He just missed it.
Like that one.
Tough. Great play.
McNerney's one of the best blitzers in the game.
Yep.
Put him up there with Orion Rams and, of course, Durant.
Advantage Compton, McNerney.
He's certainly right there. Yeah, so going back to the backhand rankings, I guess I'd put, that's just massive. I guess I'd probably go Parsons and then probably Compton and Bursch, but, they're just great shots. I think Parsons one is just so versatile. It's sort of the difference maker. Like, he can hit a heavy roller, he can hit it hard, whereas, Bursch kind of hits it flat, down. Not the same versatility. I've seen a little bit of both also from Compton. He can hit it with the roll, he can hit it hard. Nice little come there. And their Powers just pulls the trigger on the quick forehand and just doesn't execute. Good game there.
I think he pulled the trigger because Hughes was already up there.
I think so. I mean, he could have hit it high and let him come back. It would have been no problem for Hughes to get back. I think took a calculated risk. And that was a good game from Compton McNerney. They found the seams and they attacked at the right times. Got a couple errors out of those guys.
And McNerney was dealing with a bad knee for about the last 18 months. He seems to have it in order. It's a little stronger now. Not all the way back. You'll see it on the serve. He used to really explode into that serve, and he's not up to that yet, but definitely moving better. And his movement is such a huge part of his game. Okay, here we go. Brian Compton to serve. Bradford, we just got a report. It's one love, Compton McNerney.
One love, Compton McNerney. Thanks for that report. I got all the reporters in the field there helping us out. Takes a village, Mark. And now we know.
And you see McNerney, how he just jumps on top of the net.
Yeah. Good
Good,
read
so-
there from McNerney.
He's got so much range up there.
Oh, that's a good ball. Nicely played there from Hughes.